as Sheldon Keefe pointed out today at the morning skate, he plays a pretty simple game, pretty straightforward game. He does seem really excited to be in the lineup. He's going to have, obviously, fresh legs. He hasn't played since late December. And I think he'll be able to knock off the rust quite quickly in that tandem with Liljegren and perform okay.
Okay, we're going to, this might be, the Guinness people are now on the phone. This may be the longest edition ever of Yes Guy, No Guy. One more, and this is a poker edition of Yes Guy, No Guy. Yes Guy, No Guy, at the trade deadline, the Leafs should hold and not go all in.
Oh, I'm a big no guy. Like capital N, capital O, capital G, U-Y, because... I mean, you got to go all in here. Like, this is it, man. Like, you're in year 8 of the Matthews-Marner era. Every year counts. You can't waste years. And, so for whatever you're going to have to do. Now, what does all in mean? Does it mean trading draft picks? Yeah, I think it means trading draft picks. We're not talking about drafts anymore. We're not talking about waiting 3 or 4 or 5 years for a pipeline to emerge. We're not talking about the next generation. We're talking about here and now with this team, with the bet you made on the core 4. Brendan Shanahan's at the top of this. He'll be celebrating the 10th anniversary of the Shanahan plan in a couple of months, if you can believe it, Jim. It's hard to believe 10 years has gone by, but it has. And so, yeah, there is no holding back when it comes to this team, in my view, unless you're going in a completely different direction. Unless you're saying the core 4 is no longer, you're breaking it up somehow. I'm not sure how, because it's not going to be easy. And you are moving on to find a new way to build this team. I think you've got to put everything you have into making this team, or giving this team its best chance at a playoff run.
Okay, just over a minute left, so I want to explore that. I mean, what are you talking about here? Adding 3 or 4 players or more?
Well, look, yeah, Kyle Dubas added 5 last year. I mean, why not? It's you need. We just talked about it. You need some depth scoring, so you got to check that off the list. You need defensive depth. We're looking at it tonight. Gio's out day-to-day with a lower body injury. Connor Timmins is ill. And suddenly you got William Lagasse and Timothy Liljegren. You don't want William Lagasse and Timothy Liljegren playing for you in the playoffs, ideally, as your third pair. It may be a necessity. But, look, I just think you got to do whatever you can here to shore this thing up, whether it be Chris Tanev. Who knows? We haven't even started looking at the trade bait list in real earnest. March 8th, of course, is the trade deadline. We've got most of a month to go. But yeah, I do believe you gotta add what you can here to prove that you care about this team.
It's going to be a fascinating month, to say the very least, and then after the trade deadline, push to the playoffs, always exhilarating. We'll set up the opening face-off for you for tonight's game in Ottawa next. This is Leafs Game Night on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
There are many peculiar words in the English language. Words like salivigant, peregrinate, nemophilus, peripatetic, and conviviality. Yet, there is no word for getting the most out of winter in your Subaru, thanks to symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and X-Mode. Until now. We call it unhibernate. As in, while your neighbors stay home, you'll be unhibernating all winter in your Subaru. So peregrinate to your local Subaru dealer today, and welcome to uncommon winter confidence.
Breaking story from Alpine News Network. Sandra and Kabir are celebrating 50 years of marriage by turning their boring bedroom into a spicy one. Oh my. Alpine Credit sent a super strength hero to help with a home renovation loan. New floors, windows, a heart-shaped button that plays this tune. Okay, I think that's quite enough. Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Just for license 12616.
At Trillium Health Partners, we're ready to see you. Not just as a patient, but as a person. A person who needs innovative care with a human touch. A person with a life, with hopes, and with fears. At Trillium Health Partners, we'll see the whole you. Our nurses, our doctors, and our staff. Because when we care for the whole person, our whole community gets stronger. Trillium Health Partners, we see you. Learn more at weseeyou.ca.
Nobody goes on vacation for the moments that are just okay. That's why Sunwing vacationers go all in like it's a buffet of fun. Whether you're skimming the treetops like Tarzan's long-lost twin, or deep-end swimming with your flippers and fins. Or maybe you're just perfecting the art of doing absolutely nothing. Whatever vacationer you are, with Sunwing, you save more so you can do more. Book with your local travel agent or...
The Leafs 1-1 so far since the All-Star break. Tonight a visit to Ottawa where a season-long issue arises. The Leafs seem to struggle against those from below. It's happened too many times this season. You wonder when that will stop. You also wonder when the secondary scoring becomes regular. And so here we go. Will the Leafs dictate the terms tonight, and will secondary scoring help to do that? Well, let's find out. Molson Canadian Leafs hockey starts now.
It's time for Molson Canadian Leafs hockey on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs live here.
And facing off in Ottawa tonight, welcome to Molson Canadian Leafs hockey on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. Jim Taddy and Dave Feschuk from the Toronto Star with you. Joe Bode and Jimmy Ralph warming up in the bullpen. So the starting lineup is brought to you by Molson. Whether it's Canadian, Ultra, Export, or Excel, there's a Molson with your name on it. And the Leafs will go with this lineup. Matthews centering Marner and Nyes. Tavares centering Nylander and Bertuzzi. Domi centering Robertson and Gregor. Holmberg centering Reeves and McMahon. On the blue line, the pairings are Riley, Brody, Benoit, McCabe, Lagesson in playing with Liljegren, and Martin Jones starts in goal. Dave, what do you make of all that?
Well, I like Martin Jones starting in goal. I think, you got to hope that he can shake out the rust quickly here. We talked about the secondary scoring stuff, and it's huge for this team to get it rolling. I'm looking at Bertuzzi, and Tavares and Nylander here. I think this is you're coming off a night where Nylander had a couple of goals. Tavares scored. He's been sort of coming out of the doldrums of that career-long pointless streak that he was on. Now Bertuzzi's got to get involved. And we talked about how, the statistical regression suggests he should be involved more. He needs to get on the score sheet more. Had an assist at least in the win over Dallas. Got to get him on the score sheet in terms of a goal. And he's got to be that guy. Because right now, Jim, with Yarncroc out, he is the best of the best in terms of secondary scoring. He's outside of the core four. He's got the most goals on this team. Bertuzzi's got to move up that standing from 6 goals this season into something a lot bigger.
Okay, let me counter that and get your response. I'm looking for something from that third line. I thought Domi skated really well and had opportunity against Dallas. Gregor is a guy who can play up at times, and Robertson is on the spot. I mean, something has to happen from that line, in my opinion, because it's not going to happen from the fourth line.
Yeah, look, and Robertson has had some good stretches. You look at it, he had that, 4 goals in 6 games there. He had that run where he was really firing. And he's got 7 goals in the year, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But you're right. He's got to be a guy that they can count on. He's got to prove that he's a reliable presence out there alongside Domi. Both him and Domi, look, it's a two-way thing, right? Nobody doubts that their offense. They've been able to make things happen on the offensive side of the puck, but to stay on the ice and get the kind of time that you need to perform, they've got to prove to Sheldon Keefe that they can be responsible on both ends. It's going to be big if they can get something out of that line. I agree with you.
So there's a couple of wacky occurrences here in that Ottawa hasn't played since January 31st, so that's 10 days. They had the All-Star break and then the week, obviously, up until now off. The Leafs play well in Ottawa. The Leafs play well on the road. It's like spin a wheel here. Which one do you go with?
Well, look, I'm going to go with the optimistic view here because this is a kind of a road game that will feel like a home game, which, as we pointed out, maybe isn't a good thing because they haven't been very good at home. But it's different, Jim, because these are the different Leaf fans. These are the Leaf fans that can't necessarily afford to get into the lower bowl of the arena down on Bay Street because we know the prices down there are corporate, let's say, and very difficult for the average guy to get. These are the Leaf fans that get loud. Not that they don't get loud at the Scotiabank Arena, but I think these are the Leaf fans, the traveling Leaf fan who's been doing maybe a little bit of tailgating in the parking lot on a nice, February day here in Ontario. I like the chances here. This could feel a little different for the Leafs. As much as they've had a problem beating the bad teams in the league, we talked about how they're 5-5-3 against the bottom 6 in the league, including 1-2-0 against Ottawa this season. I like their chances of catching a very rusty Senators team sleeping out of the gates and pouncing on them.
Okay, here's Coach Keefe on what the Leafs need to do to be successful tonight.
Play well within our own game and build off the good things we did the other night to beat a very good Dallas team. This Ottawa team stresses you, with the offense that they can generate through their lineup and through their defense. So we've got to defend real hard and play on their half of the ice. So really, it's just about our game coming together.
What's what was now the reason, or now a good time to go with Martin Jones in goal?
Well, he's played really, really well for us. So we need to keep him involved and keep him going. And at the same time, it gives Samsonov a couple of practice days here. He and Jones both skated yesterday after not skating in the outdoor day. They skated yesterday, got a good work day with Curtis, and another one here today for Sammy, and Jones will go. So he's done a really good job for us and got us through a tough period of time. And at least he needs to remain part of things here now, especially as we're still waiting Joe Wall to come back. Need to use 2 guys.
It's been a while since William Laugeson's been in the lineup. What are you hoping from him tonight?
Just to do the job that he did when he came in previously. He's obviously, when you haven't played for a while, you need to simplify things even more, but he plays a pretty simple game as it is. So just defend hard and move the puck up the ice. And he's worked very hard and he's been very patient. And there's some confidence there in him because of how he's played. He got us through, much like Jones, you're talking about with the injuries in goal. Like I said, when we had injuries on defense, did a really nice job for us. So he should feel good about that and just get in and have a clear mind and let it fly.
What's the latest on Giordano and Timmins?
Gio's, he's got a lower body injury. It'll be day-to-day. Maybe a little bit longer than day-to-day, but nothing too serious. And then it's just an illness for Timmins that's hit him pretty hard. So, in terms of the time period, don't know, but he wasn't available to travel on the trip with us here today.
But Giordano, was it something that occurred in the last game or something?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
So, growth of the Benoit-McCabe pairing, what are your thoughts on that?
Just 2 competitors, Benoit, no matter who he's played with us, has done his thing, which is to defend hard, be in your face. Not a lot of bad things have happened when Benoit's been on the ice. He's cleaned up a lot of things for us. And then McCabe, McCabe's got the competitiveness as well and the physicality, but also has got the speed to carry the puck up the ice and to help the group a little bit more offensively. And Benoit's, like I said, been there to kind of to support that well. So, yeah, it's worked well, but I think a lot of it is just rooted in the competitiveness and physicality that they both bring.
Coach Keefe getting set for the Ottawa Senators. So Yarncroke Camp, Gio and Timmins all out with various ailments. So let's go to that blue line, Dave. If you consider what Benoit brings, what McCabe brings, and Lagesson in tonight has that grit as well. I mean, what do they need to add to that blue line, in your opinion?
They need experience. They need proven NHL experience, a la Luke Schenn. Like if you could recreate the Luke Schenn deal of a year ago, we saw how Luke Schenn was instrumental in helping the Maple Leafs get over that first round hump and beat the Tampa Bay Lightning. Instantly inserted himself as a go-to guy, essentially a top pair guy for a lot of the time, and I think it's essential. If you want to do what you did last year and then more, which is not flame out in the second round in a 5-game whimper, you're going to have more to draw from when it comes to personnel, and that's why I think it's important for them to shore up the blue line between now and March 8th.
Yeah, so just a couple seconds, but if you add 10 up to what they have, not subtracting anybody, and you have that kind of a blue line, it could make up somewhat for the top-heavy forward unit, couldn't it?
You'd hope so. You'd really hope so. I mean, look, as Sheldon Keefe just talked about, McCabe adding offense. I mean, we're talking about secondary scoring. In the 15 games played in 2024, Jim, you go down the list, it's the cores, and then it's Jake McCabe and Morgan Riley with 3 goals each. They got more goals in 2024 than any forwards not in the core 4. So it's, that's a good thing. I mean, they need some offense from the back end. McCabe and Riley have been providing that. It's not all a bad news story on the blue line. There have been some really good performances this season. I just think it's about shoring up the depth and putting guys into proper slots. And clearly, a guy like Simon Benoit would be in a much better position if he was on a third pair rather than the second pair.
The opening face-off with Joe Bone and Jim Ralph is next. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
There is no competition in soccer quite like the UEFA Champions League. And it's on Sirius XM FC. Kylian Mbappe delivering when it matters most. The stakes are higher now in the knockout stage, where one goal can transform a club's trajectory. Jude Bellingham's driving scores! And one performance can turn a star into an immortal. Erling Haaland has 5! The Champions League knockout stage returns February 13th on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
And we're with John Cooper, head coach of the Lightning. Can you kind of talk about your relationship with your captain?
Whether I say it's a friendship or whatever we have, our bond is it's really come and really evolved over the years. But I think he's one of the greatest ambassadors for the sport. The kid's a class act, and it's been really a pleasure to watch.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
The last 10 NHL drafts, 62 American kids have gone in the first round. So they're averaging over 6 kids per draft per first round. But I think the lowest you could rank America as a global hockey power now is 2, and it might be 1, and we might find that over the next couple of years. Take a bow, USA Hockey.
Point with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. From in the crease to in the locker room.
Sometimes a goalie's style fits certain teams better, and I think the way Adin Hill plays fits the Vegas Golden Knights, the way Bruce Cassidy wants to coach defensively perfectly. He's a monster of a guy. He works really hard. He doesn't give up bad goals. He is a grinder. He's a worker, and it just seems to fit.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. From in the crease to in the locker room.
Mr. Rick Tocchet, if you're taking a mix of coaches you had the best of, what is that mix for Rick Tocchet?
Scotty Bowman behind the bench, tactician. Mike Keenan, a lot of stuff that coaches do now, he did. Jim Schoenfeld, the father figure. Mike Sullivan. I still talk to guys like Craig Berube, Travis Green. So, there's a mixture, and then you got to find your own niche, right?
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on Sirius XM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland! Kane scores!
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best! What a start for Inter!
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
Under review.
The National Hockey League, it's the number 1 league in the world. It's a tough league. It's not shinny. I never wanted to become a league where the stars get an extra step or 2. And there is a real divide with some people who go, the NHL doesn't do enough for its stars. No, what we like about hockey is it's a team game.
Under review with Mick Kern, 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, scores!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Battle of Ontario is renewed as the Maple Leafs travel to Ottawa to tangle with the Senators this evening as they come off a 5-2-0 record in their last 7 games and are hopeful of doing something that they haven't been able to do very well, and that is take down an Eastern Conference opponent. Yeah, it's really bizarre. They're so good against the West, and against the East, they've been terrible.
Yeah, it has been a little bit baffling that their last win against an Eastern Conference team was the Columbus Blue Jackets before Christmas, December 23rd. And yet, when you look at how they've fared against the West, they are 9-3 in their last 12 games. And the majority of those coming on the road.
Goaltenders tonight, Ilya Samsonov, 9-4-6, 3.38 goals against average, .879 save percentage. He's 5-2-0 lifetime against the Ottawa Senators. And Joonas Korpisalo, 12-16-2 this year. 3 points, gets the call for the Senators. He is 7-4-0 lifetime against the Maple Leafs. And this is a rather historic puck drop. The 7,000th game in Maple Leaf history. And during the first period intermission, Mr. Ralph will go through all 6,999 games to give you all of the scores and updates.
The New York American.
7,000 games. How good is that? Leafs to the right, Senators to the left. We're underway, and we're glad you're along with us as Shabbat chips the puck out into the center ice area. Now Riley shooting it in. And you can hear the Go Leaf Go chant starting already. This building in Ottawa is just littered with blue and white jerseys. Here's a shot by Riley, and Korpisalo makes his first save of the evening. On the boards, Tkachuk getting it out at center. Getting a change started as a long shoot-in goes wide of the Leaf goal. Kelly Yarncrook, Connor Timmins, Mark Giordano, David Camp out of the lineup. William Lagesson into the game on the defense for the Maple Leafs. The one change from the other night. Leafs steal the puck. It gets back to the point. Just getting on there was McCabe to keep it in. Bertuzzi in the far corner. Bertuzzi dragging it along the wall, but couldn't get it freed up there. Nylander, and it's poked out at center ice, and Benoit circles back into his own zone. Nice fake, and then the Ottawa player didn't realize that the rink ends after 200 feet and did a nose plant into the end boards. Here's Domi back in over the line with a pass in front for Nylander, who thought he was slashed. Now here's Nylander with it again. On his backhand, got it in front. A weak backhand by Domi went wide of the net.
Well, Nylander would have had a great opportunity.
Not sure who that Ottawa player was. We just kind of saw him out the side of our picture here, but he did a nose plant in there when Benoit did a nice little fake and then a reverse, and all of a sudden the 200 feet came up on him rather quickly.
Well, if you couldn't see him, you could hear him.
No, that's right. That's exactly
Double to the boards. Fortunately, no injury. By the way, for Martin Jones, his debut as a Maple Leaf came in this building on December the 7th when he replaced the injured Joseph Wall. Obviously, Wall has not played since that game. But Jones came in, ended up picking up the win, a goal on 10 shots.
Here's Gregor in over the line with a weak shot that went wide of the Ottawa goal. Domi in the corner, back of the net. Gregor couldn't get it off his skates. Then Robertson into the fray, comes loose and gets it to Gregor. Back behind the net for Robertson. Robertson leaving it there. No, got it back again for Domi. Domi in the near corner, tried to one-hand it out in front. Hamonic was able to free it up and has got it out at center ice. Shot by Shane Pinto into the Toronto zone. One of two things Mr. Ralph will very quickly ascertain. The Senators have not played in 10 days, so they're either going to be really refreshed or they're going to be really rusty.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned, exactly. Back at the point, Brody off on the left wing side. Riley with a shot that didn't make it through. Around back of the net, Kubalik will play it up on the wing, and it is chipped out at center ice, and hustling after it is Mark Kostelic. Kostelic with a backhand that hit the side of the goal. Centering pass was blocked. Brody in against the boards, has it in his skate. Trying to free it up for Morgan Riley. Riley getting a couple of free cross checks in there, and then Reeves frees it up, and it is Holmberg getting it up on the left wing side, and Riley comes to center. Riley will shoot it into the Ottawa zone. Round the boards, played back by Shabbat into the near corner. Artem Zub Gets it off on the left wing, and Stutzla returns the favor, and Zub's pass is a bad one, intercepted by the Leafs, and trying to spring it ahead, looking for Nyes, but it deflected away, and then Shabbat ran out of ice there too and knocked it down. Loose puck in front of the goal. A backhand. Another shot and a penalty coming here to Ottawa. Here's Marner. Far side. Scores! Matthews! Someone get a crayon out and put a little X right in that little circle over to the right, because he finds that like no one else. 1-0 Toronto. Number 42 on the season.
Comes on a delayed penalty call. But, Joe, you and I talked before the game started that Matthew Nyes, the numbers aren't what you would have been hoping. And Nyes is going to get an assist here, but he gets it on the forecheck, takes Thomas Shabbat. The puck is eventually coughed up by the Senators, but it's Matthew Nyes that works it out to the front of the net. And then Marner finds Matthews in the right wing circle. And if you haven't seen this one, I guarantee you've seen something similar about 200 times.
Boy, it's
automatic, isn't it?
It is, and the only thing that I think that you can really compare it to is Ovechkin from that one spot, right?
Yeah, if Ovechkin was, the half slapper, where Matthews is, just the quick snap and release.
In over the line now. Here's Nylander getting it down into the corner, and it's pushed out at center ice, and Tkachuk gets it off on the right side. A pass over on the left wing. Norris tried to get it in front. Intercepted, and the Leafs push it out. Benoit getting it ahead. Bertuzzi to the line. Didn't get it in deep, and Benoit's trapped down there. Brought back the other way by Shane Pinto. Pinto driving wide. Good play by Robertson to take him wide, and the shot then deflected wide of the Leaf goal. Back to the point on the far side. Long shot directed wide of the net. Swept in front of the goal. The Leafs get a stick. Austin Matthews with his 42nd goal of the season. Nyes and Marner. 3:45 the time of the opening goal of the hockey game. Leafs get a turnover. Brought in by Domi. Man going to the front of the net, and it was Gregor. And it went off his stick and went harmlessly wide. Lagesson trying to keep it in, but it comes free. And Liljegren goes back to retrieve it. The pass is intercepted and brought back now by the Sens, and it is Kostelic sending it down into the corner. Liljegren rings the boards with it to get it up on the far side. Reeves kicking and slashing at it, and finally gets it out. Zub will try to send it back in. On the right wing side, Parker Kelly trying to get a shot. That was broken up. Now a shot is directed at the net. An easy stick save made there by Samsonov. And the puck in the Toronto zone is pushed out at center ice by McMahon. Senators back in their own end. Zub waiting for your teammates to change. Gets it off to Giroux. Drop pass for Stutzla. Back to Giroux, and into the zone it goes. Brody is first there to play it ahead, and the Leafs are going to get it out into the center ice area. Only Holmberg couldn't get free. Out brought back in by Stutzla. Pass into the slot area. Unable to shoot it was Matthew Joseph. Sent around to the far side. Fourth line's been on here for a while. Reeves is going to get it out and get a change of players started. Played right back down into the Leaf zone, and Brody goes back. 13 and a half minutes to go in the first period. The Leafs lead 1-0. Pass off a stick, intercepted. Back comes Batherson in on the right side, looking for Tkachuk. It comes back to the point, a long shot that went wide. Back to the near point in a drive, blockered away nicely by Samsonov. Leafs get to the puck, and Nyes gets it out over the line, and Matthews trying to carry on. Gets some assistance from Nyes to get it into the zone, but no one can get a stick on it. Benoit and McCabe getting it up ahead. Matthews returns it to the defenseman, who shoots it in. Round on the far side, cleared by Ridley Gregg, back of the Ottawa goal. Upended there was Tarasenko. Leafs keep the puck in, and then McCabe had it taken away, but Nylander steals it back into the slot area. Dropping it back. Here's a chance. Bertuzzi tried to lean on one, but his stick was knocked off the puck there by the Sens right in the slot. Now Nylander's stolen it again. And Tavares couldn't help him out.
Well, that's 3 times in that shift, Joe, that Willie Nylander the stick lift and the steal to be able to keep it in. He did it twice in the left wing boards. That led to the opportunity by Tyler Bertuzzi. Something that's scary, though, with the Austin Matthews goal. Now in the last 24 goals scored by the Toronto Maple Leafs, 19 of the 24 scored by the Big Four. Nylander, Matthews, Tavares, and Marner.
Gosh, I'm sure glad we have them.
Yes. I mean, you could make all kinds of comments from they're paid to do that, and that's why they're the core four.
And they play a lot, and that's why they get all the chances. But, I mean, the bottom line is you're going to pay them that kind of money, and they're that good. Why wouldn't you want them on the ice? And so, and we talked about the third line. Now here's Riley in with a pass in front. They score! Max Domi gets a beautiful feed from Morgan Riley, and the Maple Leafs have quickly opened up a 2-0 lead. And the answer to that burning question is Rusty.
Yes. But for Max Domi, talk about secondary scoring. He just had 1 assist in the 9 games coming into this one. They are going to look at this to see if there was a kicking motion. There doesn't appear to be. It looks like he just simply changes the angle of his right skate. Left-handed shooting Domi is to the right of the Ottawa goaltender Korpisalo and just turns the skate. I don't know if the Senators are going to challenge this or not. Oh, I think they might be.
All right. But it's the linesman
who are
looking at it.
Yeah, maybe this is for the offside, Joe.
Yeah. So we'd better wait. Coach's challenge here by Ottawa.
I mean, we look at Tyler Bertuzzi, who has got a huge 0 for 17. Has not scored in a 17-game span, although he has. It's just both goals were taken away. One for goalie interference and one was kicked in.
We haven't seen a replay of the entry into the zone.
Yeah, but you're right. It's got to be offside simply because
where's the puck?
There was we saw Noah Gregor cross the blue line in HD, but we did not
see the puck anywhere.
Did not see the puck anywhere yet. So we were waiting, but obviously the Ottawa Senators feeling comfortable enough.
And it's interesting with Jacques Martin coming on, you would have thought that if anything, the Ottawa defense play would improve. Still don't see the puck. I don't know what we're looking at, but I don't see the puck anywhere. I see the... Oh, here's the answer. Okay.
And for Max Domi, you're saying figures. So, successful challenge by the Ottawa Senators. We still have not seen a replay that would show Noah Gregor. But okay, here we got a wider angle now. This is when the puck was just backhanded in. Yeah, you can see right there that Noah Gregor got tied up with an Ottawa player. And even though he was trying to drag the right leg over the blue line, I think it was that slight collision with the Ottawa player that.
And the Maple Leafs with a 1-0 lead. And you're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
It's where stars are born. I feel good. And legends are made.
It was all a dream.
Step inside the legendary Apollo Theater.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime at the Apollo.
With an exclusive limited run channel. Hear from artists inspired by the iconic venue, those who knew it best, and of course, the music. Celebrate Black History Month on the Apollo Theater channel. Now,
all new Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
And we're with John Cooper, head coach of the Lightning. Can you kind of talk about your relationship with your captain?
You know, whether I say it's a friendship or whatever we have, our bond is it's really come and really evolved over the years. He's one of the greatest, he's our greatest ambassador, but I think he's one of the greatest ambassadors for the sport. You know, the kid's a class act, and it's been really a pleasure to watch.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Hey Toronto, I'm David Morisuti, host of the daily Toronto Maple Leafs podcast, Locked On Leafs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network on the Sirius XM app. Every weekday, we bring you the latest Leafs news and analysis, break down all the action, including this game you're listening to right now, and preview the next one. We're giving you everything a Leafs fan could want, all in a daily 30-minute podcast. Download Locked On Leafs right now on the SiriusXM app, available with all trials and popular plans, or where you get your podcasts. Search Locked On Leafs.
Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound, Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Well, those in attendance in Ottawa are quite familiar with number 34 scoring goals in that building. As Austin Matthews, 9-game point streak, 14 points, 9 goals. And the Maple Leafs with a 1-0 lead.
4 goals in his very first 2 periods in the NHL in that building. Hard to believe he's been a bit of a disappointment since then, unable to keep that pace.
That's right. That was one of the most memorable nights I think I've ever had in broadcasting. I think you'll probably agree. Puck along the boards. Leafs get it out at center. Matthews finds McCabe. McCabe dropping for Matthews. Works into the corner. Stops up. Had it knocked off. Put it right between one of the unable to be tracked down by Benoit. Leafs back in their own zone. Riley for Tavares. Tavares straight up ice to center. Drops for Willie. Nylander circles back. Now gets it up on the right side. Bertuzzi in across the line for Riley in front for Tavares. Oh, and a big save made by Korpisalo's right pad. The captain was right in the goal crease when he got the return pass. Matthew Joseph playing it off the boards to center. Riley going back. The Leafs have dominated play, but the shots are just 3-2. Here's Nylander dropping it back, but unable to get there in time to keep it in was William Lagesson. Brody getting it up ahead for Domi. Domi gets it across the line, but has it knocked back out. Then Lagesson shoots it back in again. Leafs have in their own zone. Pass up on the right wing, gets to the line. Unable to track that down with Shane Pinto. And it's back into Ottawa territory where it's launched on a high arc down into the Leaf zone. Liljegren got it back, and then it was stolen by Vladimir Tarasenko. Tarasenko gets it in on the right side. Ridley Gregg in with a chance. Good save made there by Samsonov. Robertson couldn't get the puck out. Bouncing disc to the side of the net. Gregg trying to come out of the corner with it. Gregg still with it. Works down in along the boards. Tried to play it back along the wall. Zub was there. Now it's broken up. Robertson with a chance to move it up ice, and he'll get it up on the right wing and scamper to center, looking for a return pass that goes astray. Senators back in their own zone. Brandstrom waiting for change to happen. Half the period in the books. 1-0 Toronto. And still just 3-2 shots on goal. Here's Benoit. Dropping for McCabe. He looks one way, passes the other. Got it down into the zone for McMahon, but couldn't track it down. Reeves now with Holmberg getting it back to the point. Benoit far side. A shot deflected in front of the net. There was a huge crowd out there, and it is played to center ice now by Ottawa and down into the Leaf end. Simon Benoit. What a revelation this young man has been to this Leaf defense corps. Played down into the Ottawa zone. Nyes unable to get a forechecking hit there on Josh Norris, who brings it into the Leaf zone on the right wing side. Oh, and a good glove save off Batherson by Ilya Samsonov, who snapped that left leg out. So the Leafs leading 1-0. John Tavares with a great chance. Korpisalo coming up with the big save. And the Leafs on a goal by Austin Matthews have a 1-0 lead. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Alpine News Network is here live with one of our superheroes.
I just helped Tom with a business loan. He needed to soup up his mechanic shop. Not to brag, but I once modified a car to match my ultra speed. It went so fast, it broke the speed of sound. At least no one was inside. I hope no one was inside. I guess I'll just stick to approving business loans.
Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Just for license 12616.
Unhibernate. Verb. To laugh in the face of snow because you drive a Subaru. As in, when I unhibernate, I have the roads all to myself because my Subaru has symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and others don't. Or, the award-winning safety in my Subaru means I can unhibernate all winter while my neighbors stare longingly from their bedroom windows. Or my favorite usage. I am going to unhibernate this winter by visiting my local Subaru dealer today. Welcome to Uncommon Winter Confidence.
The Leafs won and the Ottawa Senators nothing. On a goal by Austin Matthews, number 42 on the season.
Really have dominated play, but he said the shots on goal really haven't been able to get through. Obviously, he had the goal called back as well. Did you not think the lack of celebration by Max Domi that he knew
something
whether?
Was up, yeah.
I just thought it was a little understated for Max, especially after 9 games without a goal.
Chopped around the boards down into the corner in the Ottawa zone. Zub gets it up on the wing. Pushed by Stützle out at center. Zub trying to return the favor. Does get in over the line. Chabot in on goal. And Jones comes out and swallows that up at the top of the crease.
Jones appeared to be laboring a little bit, Joe, after making the stop. And this was kind of a fortunate bounce as it bounced off Morgan Riley in the right wing boards back to the middle of the ice.
Oh, I know why he's laboring.
Yeah.
He took that one down in the nether regions. He's okay. Back to the point. Walking in on the wing with a shot. That went high and wide of the Leaf goal. Wraparound attempt didn't work. And Bertuzzi has skating room and gives it off to Nylander. Nylander flipping it into the right wing corner, and Bertuzzi hustling in there after it, trying to free it up and got it back along the boards. Nylander works into the corner, chips it back at the net. Bertuzzi tried to center, did! Big save there off of Tavares by Korpisalo. Another centering pass, and it was not. Bertuzzi made a great pass. First one was blocked. The second one was right on the tape.
Korpisalo made 2 huge stops in a row there as the Leafs shots on goal total up to 6 now.
Lagesson got it ahead for Noah Gregor. Gregor in on the left wing, stops it up, looks to make a pass in front, and it rolls into the goal crease, and it is covered up by Korpisalo and will be held for a face-off.
Noah Gregor's gone 20 games without a goal. And we had an opportunity there, Joe, coming down the left wing side. Great speed coming over the Ottawa line. But then, and we've seen him how many times score from the left wing circle so far this year. Had an opportunity to do it, but when the confidence is a little low, you hesitate and you hold on, and he eventually runs out of room.
Shot goes wide of the Ottawa goal. Liljegren back of the net for Robertson. Domi trying to help him out back of the net, kicking at it. Robertson unable to fish it free. Now gets after it in the near corner. Got it in front of the net, and a shot wired wide of the net by Noah Gregor. Kept in at the blue line by Liljegren. Played deeper into the corner now for Robertson. Tried to one-hand it to Gregor. That didn't work. And now the Sens turn the puck over. Lagesson to the far point. Liljegren with a shot, and down rather deep in his net was Korpisalo, but he was able to get to it. And another face-off coming in the Ottawa zone as a result.
I mean, we joked about whether the Ottawa Senators, this is their first game since the All-Star break, whether they'd be a little rusty or whether they'd be well-rested. Well, rusty it is, as they've been back on their heels most of this game.
6:40 to play in the first period.
But as we always know, with the Ottawa Senators and the Leafs, a 1-goal lead ain't very safe for the first period.
Lifted into the Toronto zone by Kubalik. He's minus 20 on the season. The winger is, and the Leafs get it out at center. And Reeves working to the line and in on the right wing side. Tried to get a shot away. It went off a skate and has cleared the glass into the screen. And there'll be a face-off coming in the Ottawa zone as a result.
Ryan Reeves got back into the lineup in the 2 games against the Winnipeg Jets before the All-Star break. Scored his first game back in Winnipeg.
His hometown.
Yep. And he's, we've talked about this. He's looked noticeable in the offensive zone and on the forecheck. He's been physical.
A draw won by Ottawa. Hamonic gets it up on the right wing side. Chipped in over the line by Parker Kelly. And Liljegren gets back to retrieve the puck and sends a long lead pass for Reeves, who got stood up there by Tkachuk as it shot back down into the Toronto end. Jones playing it off into the corner. Liljegren carries to center. Chipped it ahead. McMahon didn't get it in deep enough. And then Matthews is able to force it a little deeper, and Jacob Chychrun is there to get it ahead. Brought out at center ice then by Norris. He had his pocket picked, and the Sens have to go back to their own blue line. Played ahead into the Leaf zone. Played right back out at center. Sens wait for teammates to get onside, looking for a pass in front of the net for Batherson. Didn't work, and the Maple Leafs Marner didn't see the puck coming out at him and might have been able to chip it ahead and get Matthews roaring, but never saw the puck. McCabe, long rink wide off the skate of Matthews, but he carries on and then had it knocked away. Leafs trying to get back on side. McCabe Nyes lost the puck, and now Riley has it back in his own zone, and Brody flipping it back for the Leaf defenseman, and Riley gets it ahead, tipped in by Marner, and Tavares will go into the forecheck. Played along the boards and bunted out at center, and now here's Stützle working in over the line. A bouncing puck to contend with, and he couldn't. Back out at center ice. Stützle playing it all the way back into his own end. Zub gave the puck away. Oh, and a chance for Tavares, and it went over top of the goal. Oh my, you couldn't have been set up any better. Now they're shot wide of the Leaf goal this time. Tavares has had a couple of glorious chances here in the first period.
The rebound on that, though, Joe, I thought Tyler Bertuzzi had an empty net. He could have tried for it, instead tried to go back to the left point.
Bouncing puck at the Leaf line. Gregor sends it into the Ottawa end. Chopped at. It comes back towards the blue line and brought out at center now by Ridley Gregg. Gregg double teamed, and the puck into the corner for Liljegren. Liljegren around on the boards. Lagesson was able to get it ahead. Domi with skating room. Hits the line to an open wing on the far side. Robertson dropping the puck, and a good blocker save made there by Korpisalo. Back come the Sens with Kelly sending a long shot wide of the Leaf goal. In against the boards and down into the corner is Liljegren. The puck comes free, and it is Gregor getting it into center ice territory. 3.5 minutes to play in the first. 1-0 in favor of the Toronto Maple Leafs on a goal by Austin Matthews. Brandstrom starting out slowly in the Ottawa zone. Played it out into the neutral ice. Shot in then by Bernard Docker, but it is going to be whistled down offside and play call.
By the way, you mentioned the first game for Austin Matthews in Ottawa. What about this? This is his 33rd career game against the Ottawa Senators. It is goal number 24 in 33 games.
You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Let's go, football fans. This week on Let's Go with Tom Brady and Larry Fitzgerald and me, Jim Gray.
The great Steve Young.
Guys that are like me, the only way to greatness is through owning the data, memorization, and then to become a sophisticated passer.
The great John Elway.
Great players want to be coached hard. That's the difference between great players and average players. Average players just go through the motions, where great players want to get better.
Listen to Let's Go every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern on Mad Dog Sports Radio and anytime on the SiriusXM app. Let's go, baby.
Let's go.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
And we're with John Cooper, head coach of the Lightning. Can you kind of talk about your relationship with your captain?
Whether I say it's a friendship or whatever we have, our bond is it's really come and really evolved over the years.
Hey everybody, Mike from Toronto Sports Insider. Thank you all for getting us over the 7,000 subscriber mark. Let's keep it going. Let's have some fun tonight in the chat. Smash that like button down below. And hey, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Turn that notification bell on so you can hang out with us every single Leafs game or Toronto sports event. Thank you all for hanging out with us. We'll see you guys soon. Let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go!
With Boomer Gordon.
1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio.
Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Marner to Matthews has been pretty productive. 208 times they have combined on a Toronto Maple Leaf goal. They are one behind the club record.
Sittler McDonald?
Yes, indeedy. 209 times. Darryl Sittler and Lanny McDonald. I'm sorry, guys. That ain't going to be around long. And our best wishes being set out to Lanny, who is recovering from his, how did he put it? A
cardiac episode.
Cardiac episode, yes. Puck down in the Ottawa zone, backhanded out at center. Tkachuk has deflected it down into the Toronto end. And going back to retrieve it now is Marner. He's got his hands up in the air. What am I doing here behind the net with this puck? Where's the defense? Now Riley gets to the puck. Marner turns it over, though. 3-on-1 break going the wrong way. And a goal. Oh, what a save by Jones! Claude Giroux tidies up after an impressive save made by Martin Jones, and the game is tied.
Now Mitch Marner got taken down at center, and the turnover resulted in an odd-man rush for the Senators. Morgan Riley threw it up to Mitch Marner. Looked like he got his skates kicked out from under him by Shane Pinto. And was it not Pinto that walked in? Or was that, Matthew Joseph?
Yeah, that was Matthew Joseph, yep.
Took the pass from Giroux, was stopped by Jones, and a great save by Jones in the original shot. Then I think he lost where the puck was. And it went back to Giroux, who put it in.
16th of the year for the Hearst, Ontario native. Long shot blocked by Jones. Another shot wired wide of the Leaf goal. Trapped now by Ottawa. A shot goes wide of the net. To the far side, Shabbat. Got it down into the corner. Drop back for Shabbat. Sharp angle. That went wide of the goal, and this tally by Ottawa has gone right to their legs. Another shot stopped by Martin Jones. Far side, Tavares unable to get it past the forecheck. Out into the near corner. It goes to Liljegren, and he's going to bank it out into neutral ice. And Tavares then gives the puck away. And there's going to be a penalty. Oh, gosh, no, there wasn't. All right, well, I guess we're even. In on the right side, Kostelic dropping it back. Good blocker save made by Jones again. Leafs trying to get the puck out at center, but since giving up that goal, they've really been on kind of high alert. Now here's Robertson, unable to make a pass. Intercepted. Parker Kelly brings it back at center. Stolen there by Domi. And the Leafs regroup it. And Benoit will step up at center and shoot it in. Giroux's 16th from Joseph. The scoring play for Ottawa that has deadlocked the game at once.
Ottawa went from 4 shots on goal to 10 in the space of, 90 seconds?
Down into the corner with 20 seconds left in the period. Domi chipping it along the boards. Nyes doesn't get it out for him. He works it against the boards. Now when it does come free, Lagesson working to the near wall. 8 seconds left. Puck still in the Toronto end. Benoit taken hard to the boards by Tkachuk. They jostle the puck into the slot area. Time's going to run out before they can get a shot away.
Well, you talk about playing the full 20-minute first period. The Leafs were great for about 17 and a half. Then the turnover, then the goal, and then Ottawa was on fire, so maybe they horned in the first period. Was a huge break for the Leafs. They do have a goal called back because of an offside, so Max Domi is still on a 9-game goalless drought. But the Leafs have to get back to the way they were playing early in the first period, or actually for the majority of the period, and not let your foot off the gas.
So Matthews for Toronto, Giroux for the Ottawa Senators, and the game is tied 1-1 after one. Jim Taddy and Dave Feschuk standing by. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Don't miss a moment of Super Bowl 58 as the Kansas City Chiefs and San Francisco 49ers square off on Sirius XM.
Mahomes to throw it. DeKalte, touchdown! McCaffrey off the left side, breaks a tackle, touchdown! Hear the hometown announcers on your radio. The 49ers broadcast is on channels 81 or 225. Catch the Chiefs broadcast on channels 82 or 226. And the national broadcast on channel 88. Super Bowl 58. Coverage starts tomorrow at 4 Eastern on Sirius XM and the all-new Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
And we're with John Cooper, head coach of the Lightning. Can you kind of talk about your relationship with your captain?
You know, whether I say it's a friendship or whatever we have, our bond is it's really come and really evolved over the years. He's one of the greatest, he's our greatest ambassador, but I think he's one of the greatest ambassadors for the sport. You know, the kid's a class act, and it's been really a pleasure to watch.
The Power Play.
Weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern
on NHL Network Radio.
Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
The Point
with Boomer Gordon.
The last 10 NHL drafts, 62 American kids have gone in the first round. So they're averaging over 6 kids per draft per first round. But I think the lowest you could rank America as a global hockey power now is 2, and it might be 1, and we might find that over the next couple of years. Take a bow, USA Hockey.
Point
with Boomer Gordon.
1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio.
Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. From in the crease to in the locker room.
Sometimes a goalie's style fits certain teams better, and I think the way Adin Hill plays fits the Vegas Golden Knights, the way Bruce Cassidy wants to coach defensively perfectly. He's a monster of a guy. He works really hard. He doesn't give up bad goals. He is a grinder. He's a worker, and it just seems to fit.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. From in the crease to in the locker room.
Mr. Rick Tocchet, if you're taking a mix of coaches you had, the best of, what is that mix for Rick Tocchet?
Scotty Bowman behind the bench, tactician. Mike Keenan, a lot of stuff that coaches do now, he did. Jim Schoenfeld, the father figure. And Mike Sullivan. You know, I still talk to guys like Craig Berube, Travis Green. So, there's a mixture, and then you got to find your own niche, right?
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on your schedule with the Sirius XM app.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on Sirius XM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores!
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter!
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
Under review.
The National Hockey League, it's the number 1 league in the world. It's a tough league. It's not shinny. I never wanted to become a league where the stars get an extra step or two. And there is a real divide with some people who go, the NHL doesn't do enough for its stars. No, what we like about hockey is it's a team game.
Under review
with Mick Kern.
11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio.
Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Is on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs live here.
Another shot on a penalty coming here to Ottawa. Here's Marner, far side, scores! Matthews! Someone get a crayon out and put a little X right in that little circle over to the right, because he finds that like no one else. 1-0 Toronto, number 42 on the season.
1-1 now after 20 minutes of play. TSN After 20 is brought to you by your Ontario Subaru dealers. Unhibernate, redefine winter fun with Subaru all-weather capability. Visit your local Subaru dealer. Welcome to Uncommon Winter Confidence. And Jim Taddy and Dave Feschek with you. So, Dave, I mean, this was a great 17 minutes. Ralphie detailed it nicely at the end of the period. And then the final three go to Ottawa. And it's that neutral zone turnover right at the center ice line that everybody's going the wrong way, and the Leafs could do nothing about it. That's why we're tied. Poor management at that point.
Yeah, really poor management there by Morgan Riley and Mitch Marner to create that turnover. Self-inflicted wound, really. Nothing Ottawa did there. This is not exactly a formidable Ottawa defensive team, and yet you sort of gift them one, and it's Claude Giroux coming the other way. And look, Martin Jones did everything he could there. He makes a nice initial save on Matthew Joseph, and the puck's just sitting there in the slot. And Claude Giroux is able to come back in there and tuck the backhander up top to tie the game. If you're Sheldon Keefe right now, you're thinking, geez, we should have been up 3, maybe 4-0 in this game. Yeah. And instead, it's deadlocked 1-1, and you can't be happy.
Absolutely. So Martin Jones made some great saves leading up to that. I'm not faulting him for the goal, but he looks very confident. Tavares totally has to be frustrated. At least 2 or 3 opportunities there that should have been buried and were not. And the other tidbit I want to throw at you is the Domi goal, when it went in, got more applause than when it was called back. So that's kind of a weird scenario.
Yeah, the Leafs Nation has descended on Canadian Tire Center tonight for sure. The Go Leafs Go chant is a lot more prominent than the Go Sens Go chant that's trying to drown it out, but very unsuccessfully. But yeah, look, there's another one too where a bit of a mental error by Noah Gregor because he's offside on that play. And I understand Nick Robertson, a little bit of hesitation coming over the blue line. But, you know, when it's Domi and Robertson reading off each other, it's great because they're both really creative guys with you know, a real good sense of how to make plays. Gregor is the guy who's been promoted up from the fourth line, a bit more of a straight line skater. And he's the guy offside there. At a moment when Max Domi could have really used a goal. And anybody but the Maple Leafs core four could have really used a goal. So an unfortunate mishap there to get that called back. And yeah, you're right. John Tavares, 3 great chances in the slot and can't buy one here on Younes Korpisalo. So all good signs in a lot of ways. The fact that they're creating some offense, the fact that Tavares is getting chances, the fact that really they did command the majority of that period, but you know, unfortunate that it's 1-1 given the mishap at the neutral zone with Riley and Mitch Marner and Claude Giroux taking advantage to tie it up.
Yeah, I can't believe they're too upset in that dressing room. But having said that, it just seems to be an odd narrative that we're talking about in a positive way, the top players in the Leafs, and in a negative way, the top players in the Leafs. It just can't escape that storyline.
No, you really can't. No, you can't. It's going to be the storyline changes. And look, in a lot of ways, it's great. Like you say, look, we put nearly 50% of our salary cap into these 4 guys. They're more than carrying the load. They're carrying 60% of the offense. But we all know, you talked about it in the pregame show about how if you're game planning against this team in a 7-game series, it's pretty straightforward right now, right? You've got Matthews with 42 goals. You obviously got a key on him. You've got, you know, Marner and Nylander and Tavares being who they are as the other primary sources of offense. And then beyond that, you're like, hey, who else is going to hurt us? And yeah, there were some good signs. There were some good signs from that third line. Obviously, the goal that Domi scores off the skate. You know, a bit of an excuse me off the skate goal that gets called back from Nick Robertson, but at least it's a sign that they're creating something. At least it's a sign that they're getting to the net, that they're actually able to, you know, create some forward momentum and create some chances. If you're Sheldon Keefe, you got to be encouraged by that. You got to think, hey guys, you got to be encouraging them to continue that on into the second and third.
Yeah, I'm almost hesitant to, just because I want to see what happens at the deadline. I mean, if it's still top heavy, then, you know, it's what we said in the pregame show and what you just repeated there is that, you know, you would check and have somebody on the Fab 4 up front, and it'd be like walking a batter. It's like, well, we don't want this guy to hit, so we'll walk him and get to the rest of the lineup, right?
Yeah, exactly. And look, that's always been the case with the Maple Leafs to a degree, but it's never been to this degree, right? They're really taking it to extremes this year, as we talked about in the pregame. Normally it's the core four handling about 50% of the goal scoring. Now they're up to 61. It's not ideal. But, look, Bertuzzi was at least a presence out there in the first period, even though he didn't really, obviously didn't score. Domi was at least a presence out there. Robertson was noticeable. They're going to need more of that, and they're going to need more of that from more guys. And, Noah Gregor may be playing a little too high in the lineup, but, he's got to, if he wants to hang on that third line, he's got to pick it up.
So it's tied at 1, Leafs in Ottawa after 20 minutes of play. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
You've heard that sound before. A basketball going off the backboard and in. A bank shot. Well, that's actually the sound of a fan winning a Raptors jersey. That's the sound of a fan getting a signed Raptors basketball. And that's a fan scoring tickets to the NBA Finals. With the Tangerine Bank Shot contest, every bank shot the Raptors score this season wins a fan a prize. Enter for a chance to win at tangerine.ca/bankshot. Tangerine, that's forward banking.
Today, when it comes to following sports, a basic box score just won't cut it. Get the stats behind the stats with NHL Edge. So you won't just see Makar's time on ice. You'll see where he spent it. You won't just know Matthews scored. You'll know how hard he shot it. And you won't just get OV's shot total. You'll know where he shot it from. Even if they're all from the same place. Know more about every stat, every shift, and every star with NHL Edge.
Breaking story from Alpine News Network. Ron is a teacher helping bright minds, but this time he needed help. Alpine Credit sent a cosmic superhero with a debt consolidation loan. She conjured a magic book, Debt Consolidation 101. Lesson 1, consolidate debt into one low monthly payment. Lesson 2, nothing. It's a short book. Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Just for license 12616.
At Trillium Health Partners, we're ready to see you, not just as a patient, but as a person who needs innovative care with a human touch, a person with a life, with hopes, and with fears. At Trillium Health Partners, doctors, and our staff, because when we care for the whole person, our whole community gets stronger. Trillium Health Partners, we see you. Learn more at weseeyou.ca.
Nobody goes on vacation for the moments that are just okay. That's why Sunwing vacationers go all in like it's a buffet of fun. Whether you're skimming the treetops like Tarzan's long-lost twin, or deep-end swimming with your flippers and fins. Or maybe you're just perfecting the art of doing absolutely nothing. Whatever vacationer you are, with Sunwing, you save more so you can do more. Book with your local travel agent or...
At Freshco, we have fresh quality groceries at low prices that we call Valuelicious. Like a box of Jane's Ultimate Chicken Wings or boneless bites for only $6.99 with C Plus member pricing. Hurry, deal ends Wednesday. Freshco, lowering food prices. See freshco.com for more deals.
Excuse me, miss. If I say Contrave, 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 do you know what it is? Of course I do. And I know how to get my tablets at no cost. Oh, you know that.
Ask your doctor about Contrave and learn how to receive Contrave tablets at no cost.
The Out-of-Town Scoreboard brought to you by Maple Toyota. Build your next dream Toyota at Maple Toyota. And check out Maple Toyota's pre-owned inventory arriving daily. Guy, it's time to Toyota. Visit mapletoyota.com. Here's what we have. Panthers 3-0 over the Avs. That's in the third period. The rest are after 20 minutes. Devils and Canes scoreless. Lightning 1-0 over the Jackets. Flyers 2-1 over the Kraken, and Jets 2-0 over Pittsburgh. Earlier today, Blues got by the Sabres 3-1, Detroit 4-3 in overtime over Vancouver. It was Dallas 3-2 over Montreal, the Flames 5-2 over the Islanders. Washington shut out Boston by a score of 3-0. Later tonight, getting set to start in mere moments, Nashville hosting the Coyotes, and at 10, Edmonton in L.A. against the Kings. In our game, it is 1-1, Leafs in Ottawa after 20 minutes of play. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network.
Did you...
After Super Bowl 58 is over, stay tuned to Sirius XM NFL Radio for live post-game analysis from Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. Catch exclusive interviews with the Super Bowl MVP, winning head coach, and more. It's the Super Bowl 58 postgame show, hosted by Bill Leckus, Jim Miller, Kirk Morrison, and Brad Hopkins. Immediately after the game on SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 and the all-new SiriusXM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
And we're with John Cooper, head coach of the Lightning. Can you kind of talk about your relationship with your captain?
You know, whether I say it's a friendship or whatever we have, our bond is it's really come and really evolved over the years. He's one of the greatest, he's our greatest ambassador. You know, the kid's a class act, and it's been really a pleasure to watch.
The Power Play.
Weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern
on NHL Network Radio.
SiriusXM 91 and the SiriusXM app.
The Point
with Boomer Gordon.
The last 10 NHL drafts, 62 American kids have gone in the first round. So they're averaging over 6 kids per draft per first round. But I think the lowest you could rank America as a global hockey power now is 2, and it might be 1, and we might find that over the next couple of years. Take a bow, USA Hockey.
Point
with Boomer Gordon.
1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio.
SiriusXM 91 and the SiriusXM app.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on SiriusXM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores!
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter!
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on SiriusXM FC 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen. Walks in. Put it between his legs. Shoots it. Score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Maple Leafs and the Ottawa Senators tied 1-1 after a period. Shots on goal favoring Ottawa 10-8, but most of that came in about a 90-second span after they had scored the tying goal. And the Maple Leafs really dominated the period. Could have been up 2-0. Domi's goal was ruled offside, and so it is Matthews 42nd from Marner and Nyes. Giroux and Joseph combining on the Ottawa goal, and we're tied at 1.
And for Giroux, that is goal number 16 on the year. Actually, last year, his first year with the Senators, a career high in goals scored with 35. For Claude Giroux, 12 points now in his last 13 games. But you and I talked about it in the intermission, where this is the problem that has dogged the Toronto Maple Leafs. They come out, dominate early. They're up 1-0. Yes, you get the goal called back, but they can't get that next one to try to take control of the game. Make a mistake, ends up back in their own net, and now you start back to square one. So all that great work in the first 17 minutes is for naught. By the way, Brady Tkachuk, his draft class, and I find this incredible for Tkachuk, which was 2018, leads the draft class in games played, goals, points, and penalty minutes, and is 4th in assists behind the likes of Whitney Hughes and Rasmus Dahlin.
We're underway as it's played down into the Ottawa zone. They defend the goal to the right, and a shot taken there by Marner. Went off the glove of Korpisalo and went wide. Shabbat for Artem Zub. Played down into the Toronto zone. Left wing side, Tkachuk fanned on a shot that Brody may have gotten in the way of. And now Marner at center, just laying it in for Nyes to go into the corner after it. He takes his man to the boards. The puck around to the far side, kept in by Toronto. And then a chip by Matthews didn't work, and it's cleared down into the Toronto end, but it's going to be an icing call against the Senators, and it'll be brought back. The referees tonight are Bo Halkitis and Eric Ferlat. Steve Barton and Bevan Mills are the linesmen in this game.
Now we have confirmed that Bo Halkitis is the son of Bob, former Leaf.
Face off with Tavares leaning in against Norris. And the draw won by the Maple Leafs. Nylander couldn't get a shot to the net. Liljegren has spun it back to the point where Nylander was filling in. Now gives it to McCabe. Back to Liljegren. Shot coming. That went off a leg and went wide. And the rebound, trying to clear it up on the wing. And now Chabot will circle back in his own end. Played off the boards to center and down into the Leaf end. And McCabe goes back to swing it around to the near side. Liljegren long up to center. Trying to get it in over the line was Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi should score here tonight, if for no other reason that Jonas Korpisalo, he has scored more goals on Korpisalo than any other goaltender, and Korpisalo has struggled against him. Although there are some others in the list that include McDavid, Sebastian Aho, and Nazem Kadri, who have 8 against Korpisalo. Gregor pushing it back to Domi. Domi works back in his own zone. Played it around the boards to the far side to Robertson. Robertson to Lagesson. William Lagesson for the Leafs, chipping it in over the line, but it's quickly cleared right back out again. And now a tip pass and a great one for Tarasenko. Scores! In the neutral zone. And Vladimir Tarasenko gives the Sens a 2-1 lead.
Hasn't played a lot, but William Lagesson, Joe, doesn't get the puck deep, and then it turns out he's the man that gets caught. As Tarasenko takes the pass right at the Leaf blue line. Walks down the middle of the ice, little forehand, backhand move. I guess the other way around, backhand, forehand, and beat Martin Jones' blocker side.
14th of the season for Tarasenko.
Second goal that the Leafs give up after turning the puck over at center.
Here's Brody playing it in over the line. Rolls into the far corner. Hustling in there after it was Bobby McMahon. Tried to get it back for Reeves. That's turned over. Played to the line, but not out. Good play by Brody to keep it in. Brody back to the point to Riley. Pass in front for Reeves. He got a shot away, but it went off a leg and harmlessly wide into the corner. Round back of the net. Kostelic getting it ahead. And Parker Kelly will carry to center, trying to dump it in. Just did get it in over the line. And both teams are trying to get a change going. Brody starting back for the Leafs. A pass through center. Reeves got in over the line. Tried to make a feed in front of the net. And a shot taken there by Matthews. And that went wide of the net. If Reeves had been able to get it to him on the initial try, might have been a pretty good chance. But by the time he got it to him, there was a lot of traffic in front of the net. Marner starts away for Toronto. Up on the right side for Nyes. Bulls his way into the corner after a loose puck. It goes around back of the net. Nyes got it freed up in front of the goal. Matthews got it away in a hurry. And Korpisalo was able to get down in the butterfly and take it on the chest and hold on.
Well, the Leafs respond with the big line. Matthew Nyes doing some good work with Willie Nylander to get the puck out to Austin Matthews, but this time Korpisalo was already on the same side of the ice as Matthews.
Pinto and Chychrun have drawn the assist on the Tarasenko goal. And a shot kicked out there by Korpisalo. Leafs get it back to the blue line. Liljegren walking the line to the left wing side. Gets it on his forehand. Passes to the near side. Matthews fanned on that. He was in his spot, but he fanned on the puck. Leafs keep it alive. Nyes to Liljegren. Liljegren dropping for Marner. Marner sends it around the boards, but it's going to be cut off and played up on the wing, but then pinching down is McCabe. Nyes in the corner. Stops up nicely. Now looking for a man. Comes to the front. He was hauled down and knocked down as he got to the goal crease. And the Sens Stützle has sent it the length of the ice and brings about an icing call. Matthew Nyes, 17 games without a goal, along with Tyler Bertuzzi with that distinction.
He got some moments in this game, though, hasn't he? Obviously got in the forecheck on the Matthews goal. And again, and on the forecheck, was able to get the puck to Mitch Marner, who got it out to Matthews for the chance.
Tavares won the draw. Leafs keep the puck in. A shot from the point. Blockered away there by Korpisalo. And then Nylander couldn't come up with it. It comes back at center ice, and now the Sens are going to shoot it into the Leaf end. Jones leaving it back at the goal. Brody starts out with a left wing feed to find Bertuzzi. Nice move to gain the zone. Plays it to the side of the goal. Korpisalo steered it away. Bertuzzi gets it back to the point. Brody holds, then had it knocked off his stick, but Nylander is in position to make sure that nothing's going to happen there as it goes back down into the Toronto end. Nylander got it ahead for Riley. Riley's pass across the line. Stumbling there was Bertuzzi. Puck turned over, and Chychrun will start back up ice for Ottawa. Senators lead 2-1. Chychrun in with a shot high over top of the Leaf goal. Robertson getting it back of the net for Liljegren. Liljegren with a pass ahead, just tipped by for Domi, but he got it to the line and in, and then it is pushed back out at center ice by Ottawa before being lifted once more into Ottawa territory. Chychrun taken to the boards there on a pretty good hit by Noah Gregor, but the puck comes out at center, brought in over the line, broken up at the blue line by Toronto. Domi just gets it through center. Senators right back the other way. Left wing side for Eric Brandstrom. Down into the corner. Knocked away then by Lagesson. And the Maple Leafs send a long alley-oop down into the Ottawa zone that's going to turn into an icing call and will be brought back into the Toronto zone. Domi over at the Leaf bench. Not sure whether he took a bit of a high stick or not, but the official has gone over to check on him. Took a hit. I think that's about all it was, but he's doubled over as he went to the bench. But he's going to have to come back out and take the face-off.
Leafs have certainly had their struggles at home, but the last 11 away from home, 7-2-2.
Draw one by Ottawa. Shabbat got a wrister away, but it was high over top of the Leaf goal. Lagesson gets it up on the wing for Noah. Shot. That went wide. And now Noah Gregor with some time and space banks it off the glass to get it out and into Ottawa territory. Leafs are changing. Brought back into the Toronto. Matthews was knocked down as it's played around back of the net. Marner couldn't get it away there from Thomas Chabot. And the veteran defenseman gets it out at center. Chabot across the line. Upended and knocked down Josh Norris. We've not had a penalty call, he said just before a bunch started. Here's a pass in into the left wing corner. Grabbed off by Nyes. Played back to the point. Near side for McCabe. McCabe on to Marner's stick. Shot coming! Oh, what a save made there by Korpisalo. It was deflected in front of the net. Now the Leafs again with Matthews closing. Shot stopped. Nyes bowls into the goaltender. Tkachuk giving Nyes the business. And now here are the Sens coming back at center. In on the right side, Pinto playing it back at the Toronto net. McCabe for Nyes. Whoa, he missed an elbow there that Tarasenko had out for him. And an icing call here against Toronto.
You know, in a lot of games, though, power plays would be 3-3, 4-4 at this point. Both teams have gotten away from some, or gotten away with some. But I like the consistency in this. You know, as long as you don't have some holding call at center ice now. You could have called Nyes for goaltender interference. You could have called for Tarasenko for an elbow. There's a lot that are borderline, but I love the fact that they just let them play.
Bouncing puck into the far corner. Nyes off Matthews' skate, and the turnover resulted in a shot by Ridley Gregg that went just wide. Leafs playing it out at center, but it is cut off and backhanded again into the Toronto end. Senators trying to change, and the Leafs trying to get one going themselves. Now Tavares through center to the line and in. Tavares into the slot. Got a shot away that was just wide. The rebound came off the end. He keeps it in for the Maple Leafs. Round back of the net. Brandstrom for the Sens. To the near side. Bertuzzi barges in there. Back of the net for Nylander. Couldn't find Tavares in front. Cycles it back along for Tavares. He'll swing it around to the point on the near side to Brody. Brody has to get it onto his forehand, and by the time he did that, it was taken away. 3-on-2 rush going the other way. Pass in, and the pass off of Matthew Joseph's stick. Bertuzzi Trying to counter and gets it ahead, and Riley will shoot it into the Ottawa end. Senators back in their own zone. Shabbat waiting for teammates to change. Fourth line out on the ice for Toronto. Brought on now by Shabbat. Got it ahead to the line. Backhanded down into the Toronto zone. Liljegren on the far boards. The official gets kind of bumped there. The puck turned over. Stolen back by Kostelic. Can't get it in front. And when he did, it went off a skate. Kept alive by Ottawa, though. Back to the blue line. Shabbat walking the line. Doesn't shoot it. Sends it in a little deeper, then gets it back for a try. That shot was stopped, and the rebound was shoveled wide of the Leaf net. Down into the corner on the near side. McMahon can't get the puck out. Leafs fourth line being hemmed in their own zone. Liljegren pushing it ahead, and finally it gets to center, and now brought on now by McMahon. McMahon gets into the Ottawa zone, getting it down into the corner. Kubalik sends it back into the Leaf end. McCabe is able to settle it and get clear of the forecheck and starts away. Got it ahead on the right side. Noah Gregor dropping it for Domi, closing. Backhand try. That was up. The rebound to the side of the goal is going to be covered up by Korpisalo. And Noah Gregor gets into a shoving match here with noted pugilist Mr. Tkachuk. Nothing more developing. The Leafs have a guy on the bench that I'm sure would gladly have a go with Mr. Tkachuk if he'd like.
Well, the Tkachuks will drop him. Although at times they can be rather selective.
Yeah, I think so. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Scotiabank helps you put money back in your pocket so you can do more of what makes you, you. From now until February 29th only, you can be rewarded with up to $550 when you open a banking package along with a TFSA or RRSP at Scotiabank. Now that's rewarding. To qualify, certain conditions must be met. Get details at scotiabank.com/welcome offer. Scotiabank, you're richer than you think.
When you give blood or plasma through Canadian Blood Services, you're not just helping someone. You're helping someone be there for their family, give back to their community, inspire a movement, maybe even change the world. Because when you donate blood or plasma through Canadian Blood Services, you don't just help save lives, you change so many more. You don't just make a difference, you make all the difference. Join Canada's Lifeline and book now at blood.ca.
The Leafs trailing 2-1 to the Ottawa Senators on a goal by Tarasenko here in the second period.
That is the only shot on goal for the Senators here in the second. Shot Ottawa 7-1.
Matthews facing off with Norris. And Norris, I believe, has been waved out. Tkachuk will move in. And the draw won by Matthews. Back to the blue line to Marner. Marner with a wrist shot, scores! That was deflected by Matthew Nyes in front of the goal. Is over.
Mitch Marner, like a quarterback that drops back into the pocket. He stands back at the blue line. Looks up, waits, and then just lobs one that Matthew Nyes is able to skate into. And this puck, Joe, is just fluttering the whole way to the Ottawa net. Nyes comes from the left of Korpisalo and just knocks it down as it skips through the pads of the Ottawa goaltender. I don't know if Ottawa's trying to get a look at this to see if it was a high stick. I don't believe it was.
It'll be his 9th of the season.
Wait a
minute. All right, better hang on here.
I think Ottawa might be asking for a little extra time. Looking at this. No, this isn't.
No.
I mean, I think you would love, if you're the Leafs, you would love Ottawa to challenge. Matthew Nyes is going, are you kidding me? His last goal, by the way, came December 27th at home against the Ottawa Senators.
Well, now they're talking with Sheldon Keefe about a point of order here.
I think Sheldon Keefe is saying, look, take a timeout.
Yep.
Remember the Leafs did that.
Yep. Well, the puck is dropped. Goal is good. We're off and running. And it ends up going in the Ottawa bench, and so it'll come back into the center ice area.
Marner's so smart. So when he gets the puck, guy starts to close in on him, and he just lobs it. Now, I'm not sure if it glanced off something to get that tumbling effect. The puck was tumbling towards the Ottawa net. Matthew Nyes just knocked it down.
Here's Marner again, left wing side, Nyes into the corner. Marner swinging it around the boards to Matthews. Matthews comes off the shot taken there by Riley, was knocked away, and the Sens will get it out at center ice. Brody hustling back to play it to his defense partner, and a long lead pass goes off a stick and down into the Ottawa zone. Chychrun shooting it back into the Toronto end. McCabe reverses the puck and finds Brody. Brody to Tavares. Tavares got it ahead. Bertuzzi sends it into Ottawa territory. Korpisalo playing it along the boards, and the Sens will break it out at center with a pass ahead for Tarasenko. Tarasenko in with a right wing fade, trying to drive the net. Good save by Jones. Cutting in with Shane Pinto. Back to the point. Zub with a shot. That's knocked down. High stick there by Ridley. Gregg didn't make contact with the puck. Down against the boards. Benoit ties up his man. Tavares trying to get the puck free. They're still banging away at it. Fans hollering for a penalty, and the Sens keep it in. Zub to Tarasenko. Back into the corner to Zub. Far side looking for a man. Goes back to the blue line. Tarasenko. No, it's not Tarasenko. It's Kelly who scores. Coming off the bench. Shane Pinto in front of the net. And the Sens have regained the lead 3-2.
It was after Jake McCabe, I think, was looking for a high sticking penalty as they were behind the Leaf net, and it appeared somebody stick.
Wow.
Boy, Pinto's stick comes right up, and it looks like it almost gets under the visor. And then, of course, who is it but Pinto that scores? I said I like letting him play, but I don't know how far you're going to go with allowing high sticks, and the referee was right there. You usually think anything that could be a serious injury or an infraction that leads to what could be a scoring opportunity the other way is going to be called. But I think the Leafs have a case here. I mean, we saw the replay. We saw it right away when the head snapped back of McCabe, and the referee basically blew him off and pointed to play on.
So the teams have traded goals, and the situation remains the same as we get an offside at the Toronto blue line.
Couldn't have been an offside either. The Leafs brought it back into their own end. But Matthew Nyes ties it, and then Shane Pinto, by the way, who had to sit out the first 41 games of this season, now has 3 points in his last 2 games.
Wonder who he likes in the Super Bowl.
Oh, you're on your own there, Big.
You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Here's what's happening on Sirius XM Sports.
Super Bowl 58 between the Kansas City Chiefs and San Francisco 49ers is tomorrow. SiriusXM NFL Radio is continuing to broadcast live from Radio Row in Las Vegas, getting you ready for the big game. Hear from the best guests and get the best analysis on Channel 88 and the SiriusXM app.
SiriusXM Sports, wherever you are. Your team plays here.
Under review. The National Hockey League, it's the #1 league in the world. It's a tough league. It's not shinny. I never wanted to become a league where the stars get an extra step or two. And there is a real divide with some people who go, the NHL doesn't do enough for its stars. No, what we like about hockey is it's a team game.
Under Review with Mick Kern, 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. From in the crease to in the locker room.
Sometimes a goalie's style fits certain teams better, and I think the way Adin Hill plays fits the Vegas Golden Knights, the way Bruce Cassidy wants to coach defensively perfectly. He's a monster of a guy. He works really hard. He doesn't give up bad goals. He is a grinder. He's a worker, and it just seems to fit.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Sens lead it 3-2. Marner in over the line, working on the right wing side. A shot blockered away nicely by Korpisalo. Nice breaks his a stick broken. It's centered in front. It comes back to the blue line. Riley off on the wing now. Marner working back towards the blue line. One of the Senators without a stick. Back to Marner. Marner holds. Now to Riley. Back to Marner. Marner fakes. Still with it. Look for Matthews. And it was intercepted. Played out at center ice now by Ottawa. 3-on-2 rush here. Norris into the corner. Center's in front. And it's knocked away, and the Leafs trying to break it out at center, and Riley does. Got it ahead for Marner. Stops up at the blue line. Tried to feed it back for Matthews. That didn't work.
The Ottawa player, Joe, that had a stick broken. Ottawa wanted a slashing penalty. Decided to take off. Long change in the second period. Took off back to the bench to get a new stick. And Ottawa dodged the bullet.
Brought in now for Bertuzzi. His shot was blocked, and it is cleared by Ottawa to the line and out. Second period brought to you by Molson. Whether it's Canadian Ultra, Export, or XL, there's a Molson with your name on it. Leafs in their own zone. Nylander played it up on the wing, and it's chipped out at center now for Tavares, and a whistle for a glove pass. As whistle play down, it'll be brought back. 7:07 to go second period. Ottawa 3, the Maple Leafs 2.
Good news for the Leafs. They've only given up 3 shots here in the second. Bad news. The last one, John Tavares. Nice a mid-air deflection at one end, and Pinto the mid-air deflection at the other. Pinto had the overtime winning goal. Ottawa's last game was in Detroit right before the All-Star break. Shane Pinto had the overtime winner.
Draw is scrum. Puck at the point. Shot stopped there by Jones. Played into the corner. Chipped up on the wall. Robertson couldn't get it out. Around back of the net it goes for Lagesson. He'll get it up on the left wing. And it's carried to center by Noah Gregor. But his feed for Domi was too high, and he couldn't knock it down. Played back out into the center ice area. Robertson unable to track it down. Got it freed up, though. Domi to the far side. Lagesson will shoot it in. Robertson, after the puck, comes away with it. Looking to make a play. Can't. Had it stripped away itself. Stützle back the other way. Stützle in over the line, going away from him, but the puck in the corner. Brody didn't see it. It comes back on the boards. Robertson can't get it out. Here the Sens with it again, backhanding in along the boards. Back to the blue line it comes. Stützle holds. Left wing side now for Kubalik. Back to Stützle. And he stick handled it a little too well because it came right off his stick and back out at center ice. Now Stützle in across the line. Has it taken away, and the Leafs are going to launch it through center ice. Nyes, or at least, Holmberg hustling after the puck down into the corner. Pontus Holmberg works out of the area from behind the net. Got it to McCabe. Into the slot for Reeves. Reeves shot. That hit a skate. And it's brought back the other way now by Ottawa. Played in by Parker Kelly into the far corner. Benoit in against the boards there. McCabe trying to free it up. Reeves is right there. The puck does come free. And it's brought in front of the net by Tkachuk. And that is swallowed up by Jones.
Now Ryan Reeves and Tkachuk in the same scrum, but nothing more is going to come of this.
So Tkachuk coming right out of the corner with a pass. Got the shot away, but Jones makes the save. It is 3-2 Ottawa. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Passion meets performance. The Canadian International Auto Show is here.
Supercars, exotic cars, and hypercars. Autostrada Magazine and Barrett Jackson bring you the best of the best in Auto Exotica, presented by Castrol.
Take a walk down memory lane at Cobble Beach Classics, a glamorous showcase of the performance cars of yesteryear.
Bugatti, Aston Martin, Lamborghini. Celebrate 50 years of Grand Touring automobiles with the world's most luxurious cars in Castrol Alley.
Try your hand at the Drive Safe Challenge and learn more about the Adjusto mobile app from Desjardins Insurance.
Win your dream car in the EV giveaway. You could win the all-new 2024 Subaru Solterra. EV meets SUV. All-weather capability.
Our Canadian International Auto Show, presented by the Toronto Star. The Revolution, February 16th to 25th, Metro Toronto Convention Center. Visit autoshow.ca for tickets.
The Auto Show.
NHLshop.ca, the official online store of the National Hockey League. And Canada's largest selection of officially licensed NHL fan gear. With unique one-of-a-kind designs by Fanatics, Adidas, and all the latest styles for every NHL team. Don't miss out. Shop now and get today's special offer. NHLshop.ca, a Fanatics experience.
Face-off coming, and it is brought to you by Alpine Credits. You own your own home and need a loan. Alpine Credits can help. Get approved at alpinecredits.ca. Pinto, the go-ahead goal after Matthew Nyes had scored his 9th of the season. Austin Matthews is well documented on how often he shoots the puck. But since 2018-19, he's had 1,645 shots on goal. Not counting what's gone on tonight in Ottawa. Nathan McKinnon leads that list at 1,793. Pasternak 1,666. Then Matthews, then Ovechkin at 1,619, and then Tkachuk at 1,531. So they do like to get the puck on the net. Matthews tends to get it past the goaltender a little more often than most.
And yet, you see that it's through quantity, right?
Yep. Hey, absolutely. Pretty tough to have 100% shooting percentage. Chipped along the board, stolen back by the Maple Leafs. Nyes will get it back to restore to Benoit. And Simone Benoit playing it off the boards, had it knocked down then by Josh Norris. Norris cuts to the middle of the ice. Stopped, got a shot away and scores. The Senators take the first 2-goal lead. Simone Benoit and Matthews. And it is 4-2.
Benoit tries to get it up the left wing boards, but I think it's deflected by Batherson. Up in the air, it's knocked down by Norris. And Norris somehow stick handles his way in between 4 Leafs and launches it past Martin Jones. Not given up a lot here in the second period. 3 have found their way in, and 3 of the 4 goals show have been on turnovers at center ice.
13th of the season for Norris. And the Leafs have got some work to do. Down a pair. Nylander circles down into the corner, back of the net for Tavares. Got it in front, and a shot by Riley went off a leg. Rebound swept well wide of the goal by Bertuzzi. Now Riley, far corner, looking for Nylander in front with a shot, and that went just wide. Riley working on the corner boards. Got it around back of the net that Bertuzzi couldn't track down. Kept in then by Brody, but the Sens have launched it high to center ice. 4:06 to play in the second period. And the Leafs' woes against Eastern Conference teams has reared its ugly head here again, but they've struggled against Ottawa this year. Liljegren to center. Plays across the line. Robertson trying to find Domi on the far boards. That didn't work. Kept in at the blue line by the Leafs once, but not twice. as it's pushed out at center ice and brought to the Leaf blue line and shot into the zone by Matthew Joseph. McCabe around on the boards for Liljegren. Tipped to the line and out at center ice. And it's going to be shot right back into the Toronto zone. Liljegren punching it up on the wing. Elevated high to center and down into Ottawa territory. Leafs are getting a change orchestrated. Brought in by Stützle, but he had it knocked off his stick by Liljegren. Liljegren to McCabe, and everybody clearing the zone as changes are coming. 3 minutes and 4 seconds to play here in period number 2.
A tough stretch. Martin Jones last game, he gave up 6 goals on 21 shots in Vancouver.
Here's Marner in across the line. Near half boards, banks it back at the net for Matthews. Into the goal crease area. It's punched over top of the goal. Around the boards it comes to the near side. Matthews works back in along the board. Stops up again. Still has it. Got it now to Nyes. Back to Matthews. Matthews to Riley. Gets it again. Riley to Marner. Marner shooting! And that was just off the mark wide. Brody doesn't shoot it at the net. Tried to bank it in for Matthews, but didn't connect. And the Sens have played it high to center ice. High stick making contact with it. Face-off coming in the center ice area.
And for Martin Jones, obviously there have been some glaring errors before the goals against. But when you look at these stats, Joe, in his last 37 shots, 10 goals have gotten past Martin Jones.
Still waiting for some kind of positive news about Joseph Woll.
It's week to week.
I mean, he's on the ice. He's doing some stuff. He's not practicing yet. And that's 2 months. And he was the star of the game the last time.
Oh, yeah.
The Leafs were in Ottawa, right?
Didn't even pick up the win.
No. Here's Nylander. A pass to the left wing side. Tavares got it into the slot area, but it didn't reach Bertuzzi. Nylander fighting for possession, but it is played to the line. And just out at center ice, Nylander
they're not going to call this.
Yeah.
They're not
upended Tarasenko.
I mean, to me, this is Nylander's playing the puck. Boy, you let the high stick go and some of the other things.
Yeah.
Although, well, you know what? You do see it is a trip. When you look at Nylander actually kind of kicks the feet out from under Tarasenko. But there have been a lot worse let go in this game so far. But with 1:52 to go in the second period, first power play of the night will go to the Senators, who can take a huge advantage into the dressing room.
Penalty kill brought to you by CMC Markets. Take your trading to the next level with $0 commission on stocks. Here the Sens down low with a deflection stopped by Jones. Rebound into the near corner. Chipped along there. McCabe unable to get to it. Bangs into Tkachuk back of the net. That battle continues. It comes around to the far half board. Giroux centers, and it's intercepted and shot down the ice by Toronto. Minute 20 to go in this period. Here's Shabbat bringing it out, dropping for Norris. Norris got it up on the wing and into the zone they come. Pass back for Tkachuk. Tkachuk to the blue line. A shot rang off the iron and went wide. Tkachuk keeping it alive on the far side. Back to the point again. Shabbat on the wing for Giroux. Back to Shabbat. Shabbat holds to Giroux again. Giroux with a slap pass that was deflected into the corner. Tkachuk taken to the boards then by Liljegren. Centering pass comes back to the far side. Giroux had to go off his stick, but Shabbat will settle. Shabbat walks the line. Wrist shot coming. Stop. Big rebound. Flip to the line. Not out. Shabbat keeping it in. Liljegren couldn't clear. Shabbat winding. Dishes off. In front for a shot that was stopped. Tkachuk gets it back. Great pressure here. Down low. A shot by Tkachuk went wide. 23 seconds left. Norris. Far side. Giroux. Back to Shabbat. Shabbat off a stick to the near side. Norris has difficulties with it. So does Liljegren. But it's chopped out at center ice. And that'll do it for the period, one would think. Just a second left. There it is. Great pressure on the power play, but they really didn't get a gilt-edged scoring chance until the one went off the pipe.
Boy, Martin Jones was deep on that, wasn't he? Right on the goal line. Even though it hit the outside of the post. But the Leafs taking the first power play of the game, and this was a huge penalty kill. Just, 9 seconds left, Joe?
I believe.
Take it in.
Yep. That will carry over into the third period. But the damage has been done. Pinto and Norris open up a 2-goal lead here in the second period, and it is 4-2. We'll step aside for Jim Taddy and Dave Feschuk. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hot Work.
Let's go, football fans. This week on Let's Go with Tom Brady and Larry Fitzgerald and me, Jim Gray.
The great Steve Young.
Guys that are like me, the only way to greatness is through owning the data, memorization, and then to become a sophisticated passer.
The great John Elway.
Great players want to be coached hard. That's the difference between great players and average players. Average players just go through the motions, where great players want to get better.
Listen to Let's Go every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern on Mad Dog Sports Radio and anytime on the SiriusXM app. Let's go, baby.
Let's go. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
And we're with John Cooper, head coach of the Lightning. Can you kind of talk about your relationship with your captain?
You know, whether I say it's a friendship or whatever we have, our bond is it's really come and really evolved over the years. He's one of the greatest, he's our greatest ambassador, but I think he's one of the greatest ambassadors for the sport. You know, the kid's a class act, and it's been really a pleasure to watch.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
The last 10 NHL drafts, 62 American kids have gone in the first round. So they're averaging over 6 kids per draft per first round. But I think the lowest you could rank America as a global hockey power now is 2, and it might be 1, and we might find that over the next couple years. Take a bow, USA Hockey.
Point with Boomer Gordon, 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. From in the crease to in the locker room.
Mr. Rick Tocchet, if you're taking a mix of coaches you had, the best of, what is that mix for Rick Tocchet?
Scotty Bowman behind the bench, tactician. Mike Keenan, a lot of stuff that coaches do now, he did. Jim Schoenfeld, the father figure. Mike Sullivan. You know, I still talk to guys like Craig Berube, Travis Green. So, there's a mixture, and then you got to find your own niche, right?
SiriusXM, NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app.
Hey Toronto, I'm David Morsuti, host of the daily Toronto Maple Leafs podcast, Locked On Leafs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network on the SiriusXM app. Every weekday, we bring you the latest Leafs news and analysis, break down all the action, including this game you're listening to right now, and preview the next one. We're giving you everything a Leafs fan could want, all in a daily 30-minute podcast. Download Locked On Leafs right now on the SiriusXM app, available with all trials and popular plans, or where you get your podcasts. Search Locked On Leafs.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on SiriusXM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores!
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter!
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on SiriusXM FC 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
Under review.
The National Hockey League, it's the number 1 league in the world. It's a tough league. It's not shinny. I never wanted to become a league where the stars get an extra step or two. And there is a real divide with some people who go, the NHL doesn't do enough for its stars. No, what we like about hockey is it's a team game.
Under review with Mick Kerr, 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back. Stick handles to the backhand. Moves in front. Score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey is on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs live here.
And the draw won by Matthews. Back to the blue line to Marner. Marner with a wrist shot, scores! That was deflected by Matthew Nyes in front of the goal. And the 17-game drought is over.
Tied at 2 then, now 4-2 Ottawa after 40 minutes of play. TSN After 40 is delivered by 241 Pizza. Get a free medium one-topping pizza with a $25 minimum purchase before tax and delivery. Online orders only. Visit 241pizza.com. Use the code FREEM for the free medium pizza. So 4-2 Ottawa. Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey. Jim Taddy, Dave Feschek from the Toronto Star. Dave, we're going to play a little game here in the second intermission. It's called Prompting Phrase. I give you the prompting phrase. You cannot use the words in the prompting phrase to describe what you saw. And the prompting phrase is gift wrapped.
That about sums it up, Mr. Taddy. The Maple Leafs in this period essentially were gift wrapping goals for the Ottawa Senators, and it was a lot of giveaways. And you start with the William Lagesson play on the goal that makes it 2-1 Ottawa, scored by Vladimir Tarasenko. Lagesson's coming up the ice, and it's one of those kind of in-between plays where you either got to get it deep or you got to make a play, and he did neither. Sort of makes a turnover right at the offensive blue line, and it's coming back the other way. And the other thing is Lagesson does not make a great effort to get back, and Tarasenko scores. That was just one of the gift wrap occasions here. And we could go on.
Well, there's a lot of neutral zone turnovers that end up in the Leafs goal within 6 seconds. I mean, that just can't happen.
No, it really can't. I mean, we saw it. Look, we saw it in the first period that the Giroux goal was a neutral zone turnover. Morgan Rielly and Mitch Marner kind of getting their signals crossed and a puck coming back the other way. We saw it again in the Simone Benoit's having a tough night. And the Josh Norris goal that makes it 4-2 there toward the end of the period, that's Benoit. I mean, a very half-baked clearing attempt that doesn't get out, doesn't find a Leaf, finds a Senator in the neutral zone, and what do you know? It's Josh Norris coming back with speed. Benoit caught flat-footed. Benoit's been on the ice for all 4 goals against. I guess the upside is he's been on the ice for 1 goal for. But and I'm not blaming Simone Benoit for all of the goals, but certainly that 4-2 goal was not a good look for Simone Benoit, and it has not been a great night for him or, frankly, anybody in the Maple Leafs defense corps.
Well, I mean, Norris skated through the entire Leaf operation there, and after he got the puck, there's a lot of people that watched him go by and score.
Good point.
It's difficult. As they tied it at 2, I thought, okay, this is the kind of game the Leafs would win. And then 2 goals go in. Now, I'm not saying the Leafs don't win this game, but, boy, they got to tighten up. They're just really lax defensively.
Well, we talked about in the pregame how in the 21 games coming into this where the Senators have been coached by Jacques Martin since firing DJ Smith, they'd been the worst defensive team in the National Hockey League over that 21-game stretch. Tonight, it looks like it's the other way around. It looks like the Maple Leafs are the bad defensive hockey team, and the Senators are not so bad at all. And actually a pretty opportunistic team that knows how to turn the puck the other way and turn turnovers into offense. But, yeah, that's the thing to keep in mind here, Jim, is that as you head into the third period, the Senators are not some fortress of defensive greatness, so you can definitely get to this team. And the Maple Leafs have certainly had their chances. A great deflection by Matthew Nyes, as you point out, on the goal that makes it 2-2 off a really nice winning of a draw by Austin Matthews, controlling the puck, getting it back to Marner. That's a really positive play. But then the thing went sideways. And I thought, the 3-2 goal was a case in point. It was Jake McCabe and Simone Benoit out there with the John Tavares line. And more than anything, you can talk about the neutral zone turnovers, and they've been key in this game. But that particular goal scored by the Shane Pinto line on the Pinto tip out in front, that was about not winning puck battles. Leafs had all kinds of chances to win puck battles in corners, had chances to possibly get a puck out, but it turns into a 35-second or so offensive zone possession for the Ottawa Senators. And what do you know? It's in the back of the net before it's over.
Well, in fact, if you could say that the Leafs look like the team that has the defensive problems, which they do, the Leafs also look like the team that hasn't played in 10 days because they don't look sharp at all.
That's the weird thing.
It's weird, isn't it?
It really is, because we talked about, hey, the Senators haven't played in 10 days, and this should be a big advantage for the Maple Leafs, who've played 2 games in that span since the All-Star break and are clearly the sharper team, coming off a win against a very good Dallas team, even if it was 5-4, even if it was all about the core 4. No, but it's been the opposite. It's been the Senators flying out there. It's been the Senators that have really looked sharp, and frankly, it's been the Senators that have looked like they've really wanted it more. To use that phrase, because these neutral zone turnovers look lazy by the Maple Leafs, and then just the idea that the Leafs have had a tough time getting the puck out of their own end at times, and that just comes down to getting on it quicker than the Senators are getting on it, and it's just not going Toronto's way because of that.
It's a little odd. I mean, you could easily come up with a narrative that has the Leafs winning this game 6-4 because they've had the opportunity to deal with the Ottawa 4, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you wouldn't be happy with that, and I'm not going to sit here and blame Martin Jones. I think Martin Jones has been solid. I mean, he, especially in the first period, he made some really nice saves in the first period, and even made a good save on the Giroux goal to at least extend that play before Giroux tucked it in the top shelf. So it's been a really ramshackle kind of night, and I guess you could say, look, you're down. Mark Giordano, you're down Connor Timmins. You've promoted Lagesson, who hasn't played in 17 games and looks like it because he has not been sharp and was obviously responsible, or at least largely responsible for that 2-1 goal when he didn't get it deep and caused that turnover that, gave the Senators that rush. So, yeah, it's not a stellar night by any measure. But as you point out, you can still win this game. You've got the firepower. Senators are not a particularly sharp defensive team. Korpisalo is nobody's idea of a Vezina candidate, so it's there for the taking. But the Leafs haven't shown a lot of interest in taking it so far.
Ottawa leads at 4-2 over the Leafs after 40 minutes of play. This is mostly Canadian Leafs hockey on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network.
Breaking story from Alpine News Network. Sandra and Kabir are celebrating 50 years of marriage by turning their boring bedroom into a spicy one. Oh, my. Alpine Credit sent a super strength hero to help with a home renovation loan. New floors, windows, a heart-shaped button that plays this tune. Okay, I think that's quite enough. Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Fiscal license 12616.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
There are many peculiar words in the English language. Words like salivigant, peregrinate, nemophilus, peripatetic, and can most out of winter in your Subaru, thanks to symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and X-Mode. Until now. We call it unhibernate, as in while your neighbors stay home, you'll be unhibernating all winter in your Subaru. So peregrinate to your local Subaru dealer today, and welcome to Uncommon Winter Confidence.
Canadian Blood Services is pleased to share some important news.
Now even more of us can make all the difference to patients across Canada.
If you lived or spent time in the United Kingdom, Republic of Ireland or France during the mad cow disease outbreak, you may now be eligible to donate blood and plasma in Canada and help ensure that patient need will continue to be met now and into the future.
Visit blood.ca or download the Give Blood app to learn more. Together, we are Canada's lifeline.
Nobody goes on vacation for the moments that are just okay. That's why Sunwing vacationers go all in like it's a buffet of fun. Whether you're skimming the treetops like Tarzan's long-lost twin, or deep-end swimming with your flippers and fins. Or maybe you're just perfecting the art of doing absolutely nothing. Or deep-end swimming with your flippers and fins. Or maybe you're just perfecting the art of doing absolutely nothing. Whatever vacationer you are, with Sunwing, you save more so you can do more. Book with your local travel agent or...
Not just as a patient, but as a person. A person who needs innovative care with a human touch. A person with a life, with hopes, and with fears. At Trillium Health Partners, we'll see the whole you. Our nurses, our doctors, and our staff. Because when we care for the whole person, our whole community gets stronger. Trillium Health Partners, we see you. Learn more at weseeyou.ca.
The out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by Maple Toyota. Build your next dream Toyota at Maple Toyota. And check out Maple Toyota's pre-owned inventory arriving daily. It's time to Toyota. Visit mapletoyota.com. These first batch are after 40 minutes of play. Devils and Canes scoreless. Tampa 2-1 over the Jackets. It is the Flyers 2-1 over the Kraken. And the Jets 2-1 over the Penguins. End of the first. Coyotes and Predators tied at 1. The rest are done. St. Louis 3-1 over Buffalo. Detroit 4-3 over Vancouver. Dallas 3-2 over Montreal. Calgary 5-2 over the Islanders. Capitals 3-0 over Boston. And the Panthers 4-0 over the Avs. It is 4-2 Ottawa in our game. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network.
Find your soundtrack for every moment around the house on the SiriusXM app. Start your day with mellow mood boosters on the Blend. Get your sweat on with high-energy hits from BPM Workout. Pump up the perfect house party mix on Pop 2K. Plus news, podcasts, sports, and more for doing chores. Just search At Home in the all-new SiriusXM app.
From in the crease to in the locker room.
Mr. Rick Tocchet, if you're taking a mix of coaches you had, the best of, what is that mix for Rick Tocchet?
Scotty Bowman behind the bench, tactician. Mike Keenan, a lot of stuff that coaches do now, he did. Jim Schoenfeld, the father figure. Mike Sullivan. I still talk to guys like Craig Berube, Travis Green. So, there's a mixture, and then you got to find your own niche, right?
SiriusXM, NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91. And on your schedule with the SiriusXM app.
Hey Toronto, I'm David Morsuti, host of the daily Toronto Maple Leafs Network on the SiriusXM app. Every weekday, we bring you the latest Leafs news and analysis, break down all the action, including this game you're listening to right now, and preview the next one. We're giving you everything a Leafs fan could want, all in a daily 30-minute podcast. Download Locked On Leafs right now on the SiriusXM app, available with all trials and popular plans, or where you get your podcasts. Search Locked On Leafs.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on SiriusXM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores!
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter!
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on SiriusXM FC 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back. Stick handles to the backhand. Moves in front. Score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Heading to the third period, 4-2. Leafs have gotten goals from Matthews and Matthew Nyes. Giroux, Tarasenko, Pinto, and Norris have replied for the Ottawa Senators. And the save percentage of Matthew Jones has not been very good recently.
No, so as we mentioned, his last start was in Vancouver a couple of weeks ago. 6 goals on 21 shots, and he's given up 4 on 19 tonight. So 10 goals on his last 40 against. Both Saturday nights, both road games against Canadian teams.
The penalty will carry on into the third period. Nylander is in the box, and the Leafs were fortunate to not be down 3 because there was a lot of solid pressure by the Ottawa Senators. And some ice issues or something being looked at, but apparently everything is copacetic, so we're going to get this third period underway. Leafs to the right, Senators to the left. Puck is dropped, and the Sens will step up with 3 seconds left in the penalty, bouncing it into the Toronto zone, cleared back out into the center ice area. Nylander steps onto the ice, and it is Marner getting it down into the Ottawa end. Marner forechecking there against Shabbat, who reverses the puck for Artem Zub. Zub carries to center. He'll shoot it down into the Toronto zone. Bringing it around to an empty corner. First there are the Sens, but it is pushed out at center ice by Brody. Changes coming for Toronto. Fed back into the Maple Leaf zone. Played around the boards to the near side and out. It'll slide all the way down into Ottawa territory, forcing Jacob Bernard Docker back into his own end. Giveaway now. Here's Bertuzzi, and couldn't get a pass in on the wing as Nyes was going to the front of the net. There's a perfect example that a glaring giveaway there, and the Leafs don't even get a scoring chance off of it. Whereas there's been 2 or 3 that have ended up in the back of the Toronto goal. Shot in by Norris. Leafs go back into their own zone with McCabe. Circling the net, giving it off to Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi through center. Made one too many moves with the stick handle, lost it, but the Leafs restore it. And Lagesson starts out with it. Now waiting for the rest of the line to get over the boards. Lagesson will get to the center ice red line and shoot it in. Robertson along with Domi after the puck. Robertson comes out of the corner with it. Works it back to the point. Liljegren a drive right on. There's a big rebound in front. Oh, and it was chipped over top of the net by...
Does a great job getting in on the forecheck. It's eventually moved to McCabe, the middle of the ice. Or pardon me, Liljegren, middle of the ice. He lets it go. Maybe you'd like to see Joe with Gregor providing more of a screen in front. He was sort of off to the side looking for the redirection, which he got. I think you're a little more effective if you get right in the eye side of the goaltender.
Korpisalo actually got his right pad on that and deflected it up into the screen. Leafs win the draw, and apparently wasn't done according to Hoyle, so they're going to do it all over again.
I think they're blaming Noah Gregor on that. Maybe getting off to a too quick a jump off the draw.
And they win the draw, and the play goes on this time. Back to the point. Riley with a shot on the short side. That was stopped by Korpisalo, and the Sens have sent the puck all the way back down into the Leaf end. Noah Gregor hustling back after it, swinging it around the boards. Liljegren gets it out into neutral ice. Racing after it was Robertson, but he couldn't catch up to it. Now the Leafs trying to get it in over the line, and had it knocked back, and the Sens will chip it into the Leaf end. Morgan Riley going back. Got it up on the left wing side. McMahon couldn't get it into the zone. Kelly brings it back. Shot off the mask, I think, of Jones. Went wide of the net. Down into the corner is Parker Kelly. Playing it around to the point on the near side. Zub shot was well wide of the goal. And Benoit trying to get it out. Didn't get much help. And as it is pushed towards the net, it is covered up there. Now Kastelic is in with McCabe with some pushing, and Reeves is in the middle of it. But nothing more going to develop, I don't believe.
You always know when there's pushing and shoving, but no eye contact. That usually means
nothing's going to happen.
Really interested.
That went off the shoulder of Jones and off the goal post.
It looked like a rather routine shot, didn't it? Off the right wing. By the way, the Ottawa Senators, thanks to Tyler Bertuzzi, have the Boston Bruins first-round pick. Bertuzzi went to Boston. Red Wings got the first-round pick and then took Boston's pick and flipped it to Ottawa in the deal that saw Alex DeBrincat become a Red Wing and Dominic Kubalik become a member of the Ottawa Senators.
Draw scrum. Knocked down on the play was the centerman Shane Pinto. It comes to the blue line, but not out. Shabbat playing it around back of the Toronto goal. Brody works it back behind the net. Marner tipping it for Riley. Got it ahead. Chipped out at center ice by Nyes. Sends back in their own zone. Pass knocked down by Brody. Looks up the middle and finds Matthews. Rink wide on the right side. Marner couldn't handle his pass. And it's going to be brought out at center ice by Pinto, playing to the Leaf blue line. They'll try it again on the left wing for Nyes. An avenue to the net, and a shot is on the chest and smothered by Korpisalo.
Boy, he had the option with Austin Matthews going to the net. Nyes had the option just to kind of feather the puck in towards the goal and let Matthews skate into it. We mentioned Nyes had not scored since December 27th at home against Ottawa before getting the redirection goal in the second period.
I think in retrospect, though, that would have been a pretty tough play to Matthews, and getting it on the net, you're hoping for a rebound, but it didn't materialize. Now Nylander to the point, a shot. That was drilled wide of the goal. Liljegren trying to keep it in. It's going to roll on edge to center ice before being shot back in to Ottawa territory. Bertuzzi down the boards. The official gets in the way of a Nylander attempt to carry the puck. And Tavares to Liljegren. Around for McCabe, who returns to Liljegren. Leafs get it ahead to Nylander. Nylander tied up from behind, but comes out of the scrum with it. Then had it knocked off his stick. Quickly back the other way. Now Giroux. Giroux in a goal. Plants a rebound. Is funneled wide of the net by Drake Batherson. That would have been the dagger blow right there. Tavares trying to work it out, plays it high off the boards to center ice.
That was Willie Nylander this time that turned it over at center.
Played down into the Toronto zone. Jones plays it back into the corner for Benoit, but he's double teamed over there. Tavares trying to help him out. And the puck still in the scrum as it comes back to the point. Fed over on the left wing side. A pass in front of the net was knocked down. Lagesson looking to play it out, has it go off a body, and the Leafs are going to get it to center. Set in by Robertson. Out of the net, Korpisalo gives the puck away in front for Robertson. Oh, and he shot it over top of the goal. Leafs have had a couple of giveaways by the Sens, but have not even gotten it on the net. Down the boards comes Riley. Centering pass. Shot by Robertson. Good save. Rebound. They score. This one's going to count, Max. It is 4-3.
Great shift by this third line. Robertson had a great chance a little earlier. Couldn't get it to go. But they keep trying to get it to the front of the net. And eventually, Max Domi is there to cash in. And I think it's Noah Gregor, Joe, that makes the great pass from behind the Ottawa goal. Max Domi, a little stutter step around Tim Stützle to get into some space. Or pardon me, that might have been Morgan Riley that threw it out from behind the Ottawa net. But with 14:48 to go here in the third period, the Leafs have cut into the lead. It's 4-3 Ottawa.
5:12 the time of the goal. And there's a delay again, and I'm hoping, and Max is hoping, that nothing, and it was Riley, I believe, who centered it. Boy, has he been hot. Last 29 games now, 4 goals, 23 assists, 27 points. And they're going to face this off, so we're back underway. So, down a goal now. Leafs centering pass in front. Matthews swinging in front. Another shot went wide of the goal. Well, that would have been a quick reply. Played out at center ice. Nyes playing it up on the wing. Able to free it up for Marner. Marner still with it. Plays it to Benoit. Benoit on the left wing for McCabe. Back to Marner. Marner trying to backhand it into the corner. It goes into the near corner where Shabbat pushes it back out. And now here are the Sens breaking through neutral ice. Kelly gets it down into the corner. Shabbat is in deep. But the puck comes free to Matthews, and he starts away at center. A pass knocked down in neutral ice, though. Brought back in by Norris. Josh Norris on the wing. A shot blocked by the shin pad of Brody. And the puck goes back at the Toronto goal, and the Leafs settle things down as Riley plays it off the boards ahead for Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi. Boy, I don't know how he stumbled with it there and couldn't get through center ice. But the Sens now with a long shoot in that is going to be gloved by Jones. And with 13:29 to go here in the period, the Leafs are within 1. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
There is no competition in soccer quite like the UEFA Champions League. And it's on Sirius XM FC. Kylian Mbappe delivering when it matters most. The stakes are higher now in the knockout stage, where one goal can transform a club's trajectory. Jude Bellingham's driving scores! And one performance can turn a star into an immortal. Erling Haaland has 5! The Champions League knockout stage returns February 13th on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
And we're with John Cooper, head coach of the Lightning.
Can you kind of talk about your relationship with your captain?
You know, whether I say it's a friendship or whatever we have, our bond is it's really come and really evolved over the years. He's one of the greatest, he's our greatest ambassador, but I think he's one of the greatest ambassadors for the sport. You know, the kid's a class act, and it's been really a pleasure to watch.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
The last 10 NHL drafts, 62 American kids have gone in the first round. So they're averaging over 6 kids per draft per first round. But I think the lowest you could rank America as a global hockey power now is 2, and it might be 1, and we might find that over the next couple of years. Take a bow, USA Hockey.
Point with Boomer Gordon, 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Ottawa 4, the Maple Leafs 3. Max Domi with his 5th of the season from Riley and Robertson.
How about the Red Wings winning tonight on a penalty shot?
Yes, in overtime.
Kind of
I don't know if I've ever seen that.
Yeah, that's jumping the line, isn't it?
Yeah.
Supposed to wait for the penalty shots after overtime.
Face-off coming in the Toronto zone. Won by Ottawa, but almost stolen there. Oh, to save by Jones. A centering pass in front of the net game for Martin Jones.
Well, it looked like the Leafs almost, Nylander almost picked the puck off at the blue line, which would have been a breakaway for the Leafs. Instead, it's kept in and pushed back out in front. Josh Norris, one-on-one with Martin Jones, and easily the best save that Martin Jones has made tonight.
Actually, you know, the pad save he made just before the goal.
Well, it was pretty good, yeah.
But hard to say that was the best save when 2 seconds later, here's a backhand again towards the net. Jones is there to cover up on it.
After the second period, Joe, the Leafs had almost a minute more of offensive zone possession time than the Ottawa Senators. The Leafs were at 4:23, the Senators at 3:25. But rush chances were 4-2 for Ottawa, and they scored on 3 of those 4 chances.
On turnovers. Well, I got news for you. This game is a game of mistakes. And the team that makes the fewest usually is the one that ends up being the winner. Now, here's Brody. That was profound, wasn't it? Did you find that rather profound?
I'm going to say the goalie that makes the fewest is usually the winner.
Well, there's that, too.
Yeah.
Now Matthews trying to outwork his man in the corner. Nyes got it back to the point. Riley sends it in again. Nyes couldn't handle the pass. And the Sens will get it out with Pinto playing it high to the blue line, and a bouncing puck ends up to Jones, who will dish it off. TJ Brody looking for his first goal of the season. The only Leaf really that has not contributed the goal scoring department yet. He'll play it off to the near side. Morgan Riley got it out into the center ice area. Sens bring it right back in with Tkachuk. Tkachuk, a little stutter step, worked into the corner, played it back to the net, but it was a giveaway, and Riley gets it ahead and played by Gregor to center to Robertson, and now to Domi. Domi to Robertson and in. 2-on-1 down low, maybe here. No. Robertson into the corner, pulls up. Works back towards the point. Finds Benoit. Shot coming. Blocked. Benoit gets another opportunity. Sends it in around back of the net for McMahon. Now to Reeves, who overskated the puck. And it is cleared to the line and out by Ottawa. McCabe one-handed it back in, but was heading to the bench. Sens get it out at center. Launched high to the blue line. Chipped back in over the line. Reeves getting in on the forecheck here, trying to get a hit in on Chychrun. That didn't work. And out come the Sens with Giroux getting it out into neutral ice. Stützle in across the line. Whistle down. Oh, I thought it was a whistle. Did you hear a whistle? Apparently not. Giroux back at center with a long shoot in that goes wide of the Leaf net. Played out at center by Bertuzzi. played right back in again by Ottawa. On a bounce, it goes to Liljegren. Liljegren starts out. 10:48 to play in the third period. A bouncing puck in on Korpisalo. Around to the far side. Nylander trying to get position on the forecheck, but it is carried out at center now by Ridley Gregg, who'll get it into the Toronto zone. Riley, back of the goal. Morgan Riley with a rink-wide pass, trying to spring Nylander. That didn't work, and it's going to turn into an icing call.
10:25 to go here in the third period. The Leafs trailed 4-2 after 2, but Max Domi, who had a goal called up back in the opening period, found the back of the net here in the third, his 5th of the season. Make it a 4-3 game. Shots on goal almost even, favoring the Senators now 28-27.
Draw in the Toronto zone, won by Ottawa. Shabbat shot, broke his stick. The puck comes back to the blue line. Off on the near side for Zub. It was a Leaf stick that was broken. There's a shot that was deflected wide as Nylander had to get a new cue. Played down into the corner. Brody cuts around in front of Tkachuk, but a pass hits a skate. Tkachuk centers, and it's going to come to the blue line. Zub sends it back into the corner. Tkachuk with it again. Brady Tkachuk tied up on the boards, and Brody, now there's debris all over the ice here. There's a couple of broken sticks out there. Nylander brings it to center. Flips it towards the net on a bounce that was handled easily by Korpisalo. Cleared in off the skate of Tarasenko. Grabbed off there by Lagesson. Played up on the wing and chipped down into Ottawa territory. Sens regroup the puck. Pinto got it out. Matthews set it right back in again. Nyes trying to pressure. Round on the boards. Cut off by Marner. He tried to make a little pull pass out for Matthews that didn't connect. Lagesson has to go back into his own zone. William Lagesson getting it off the boards to center. Nyes tips it in. Marner in pursuit but won't get there. Down the boards, Lagesson to keep it alive. Marner back of the net to the far side. Benoit pinches again. Played it back of the goal, but it was cut off before it reached Marner. And it is played high to center ice, but it's knocked down with a high stick by Stützle. And that will stop play and bring a face-off into neutral ice. The Leafs trail 4-3 to the Ottawa Senators. 8:56 to play third period. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Let's get jerseys. Let's get jerseys.
Hey everybody, Mike from TSI. Join our awesome community today. You see all those awesome emojis in the chat? See everybody's names rolling down the bottom of the screen here? Get your name in that list. It's only 99 cents a month. 99 cents, you can't even get a coffee for 99 cents anymore, guys. Join today. Click the description of the video. You'll see the link to join in the description. Let's get back to the action. Go Leafs, go. Let's finish strong, boys.
With a business loan, he needed to soup up his mechanic shop. Not to brag, but I once modified a car to match my ultra speed. It went so fast, it broke the speed of sound. At least no one was inside. I hope no one was inside. I guess I'll just stick to approving business loans.
Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Just for license 12616.
When you give blood or plasma through Canadian Blood Services, you're not just helping someone. You're helping someone be there for their family. Give back to their community. Inspire a movement. Maybe even change the world. Because when you donate blood or plasma through Canadian Blood Services, you don't just help save lives. You change so many more. You don't just make a difference. You make all the difference. Join Canada's Lifeline and book now at blood.ca.
Leafs trail 4-3. Midway through period number 3 in Ottawa. Max Domi, who had a goal called back in the first period, gets on the board with his 5th of the season. Robertson and Riley assisting on the goal. Robertson gets the puck free, trying to work out in front of the net with a pass to Gregor, and it was knocked away by the Ottawa defenseman at the last second. Leafs have not had a power play in the game. Brought out at center ice by Nick Robertson to Domi. He's going to shoot it in. Down the boards comes Riley to try and poke it back at the net. Domi was there but couldn't control it. Stützle got it up on the wing, and the Sens get it out into the center ice area. Hot. 6 of 15 in their last 5 games.
6 of 8 in their last 3.
Back of the net now for Nyes. Nyes, a little stutter step into the corner. Still with it as he works to the side of the goal. A wraparound came out in front of the net. Marner couldn't get to it. McCabe going back into the Toronto zone. Plays it ahead, and Nyes banking it high to center ice. And it'll be grabbed off there by Chychrun. He gives it away. Brought right back in again by McCabe. He'll get it in deep. Pinto is there for Ottawa to send it out and down into the Leaf end. It's a delayed offside, and that means that Ridley Gregg has to clear the zone, and the Leafs get a chance to move the puck up ice with Bertuzzi. Dropping it back for Liljegren. Dropping it up on the wing. That was broken up, though, by Tkachuk. Tkachuk in over the line. Riley took him out of the play. Bertuzzi rings the boards with it, and it is brought back out into the center ice area. Norris almost had his pocket picked there by Nylander. Zub, 7 minutes and 6 seconds to play in the third. Leafs trying to punch it in over the line. Riley does. Nylander in against the boards. Couldn't get it around Norris, who rings the boards with it, and it's going to get past Brody and down into the Leaf end. Brody being chased by Tkachuk. Got away from one hit. Works it up on the boards, kicking it along the wall, but it won't clear initially until Bertuzzi gets it out. And now here's Tavares, rattling it down into Ottawa territory. Out of the net, Korpisalo leaving it for Chychrun. Chychrun got it up on the left wing, and the Senators get it to center ice. Giroux rolling it down into the Toronto end. McCabe played it back and almost played it to his goaltender. And then Benoit upends a player, and there's going to be a power play here to Ottawa. Played along the boards. It'll be touched by Max Domi, and a tripping call to Simon Benoit.
Again, I mean, this is a trip just like the Nylander penalty was. When you look at what's been let go, and what happened here is Benoit takes a swipe at the puck, one-handed, and then the Ottawa player continues through his stick and tries to jump over it and falls. And I believe Sheldon Keefe is asking the officials, look at the replay up on the scoreboard.
Well, the penalty, sorry, Jim. Penalty kill brought to you by CMC Markets. Take your trading to the next level with $0 commission on sales.
Bottom line is, I think where Keefe is upset, as you're saying, this is what you've let go. And that's been both ways. There have been a number of penalties both ways that have been let go. And they come up with a couple of tripping penalties. Probably the most obvious was the high stick against Jake McCabe.
Just before a goal.
Yeah.
Brought to center ice now by Ottawa. Pinto backhanding it into the Toronto zone. Brody will wind it up back at the net, but just get it into the corner. And McCabe finds Matthews, who is tripped.
No, he wasn't.
No, apparently not. No call. Shabbat works in over the line. Chopped into the corner. Comes back to the point. Giroux to the far wing. Tkachuk holds. Tkachuk gets it down into the corner. Norris back to Tkachuk. Now to Giroux. Looking with Shabbat. Giroux into the right wing corner with a shot that went wide. Tkachuk on the far half boards. Back to the point to Shabbat. Shabbat to Giroux. Closing to Tkachuk. Closing with a shot. That was blocked. Marner with a chance to clear, and he sends it down the ice. That's not going to make Sheldon Keefe any happier. The trip on Matthews.
Oh, no.
Brought on now by Batherson. Played to the line and in. Broken up by the Leafs. They poke it to the line but don't get it out. Kept alive there by Chychrun. Back to the point it goes. Cross ice near side for Tarasenko. A shot. Glove save made. Backhanded out and down the ice by Nylander.
Well, that was a sharp save by Martin Jones as well. Tarasenko going glove side, and Jones has to move for it to get a piece of it.
4.5 minutes to play in the third. That much time for the referees to give the Leafs a power play.
Or two.
Stützle in across the line, broken up there by Brody. 8 seconds left in this penalty, and the pass comes ahead to Morgan Riley, and Riley will flip it deep into Ottawa territory. Chychrun back at full strength to the Maple Leafs now, trying to look for the tying goal. Sent down into the Toronto zone. Down the boards, McCabe couldn't get it free. A shot from a sharp angle comes out in front. It's still free. They bang away at it. And another high stick clipping McCabe there on the way down. Kept alive by Zub with a shot, and that went wide of the net. Sends deep in the Leaf zone. Knocked down in front of the net was Ridley Gregg. Another shot blocked by Matthews. He doesn't clear. He was looking for Matthews or for Marner. Centering pass. Oh, went right through the back door. Went wide of the Leaf goal. Leafs finally get free of it. Morgan Riley just flipping it down into Ottawa territory, and the Leafs are changing.
Boy, that time it was the Matthews turnover.
Now Matthews across the line. That's a delayed offside, and the Sens get it up for Tarasenko. On the right wing with a pass in the slot, and a good block made there by Benoit. Liljegren up ahead for Robertson. Robertson tried to step around the defense but couldn't. Cleared back out at center ice with 3 minutes to go. Down into the zone it'll go, and now Jones leaving it back of the net for Brody. Brody starts up ice. Tavares is with him as he hits the line. To Domi, back into the slot it comes. Here's Robertson failing to get the shot through. Played it around into the far corner for Domi. Back to the point once more. Pass in front of the net by Brody was blocked and carried out at center ice now by the Sens. Goaltender Jones still in the net. 2.5 minutes to play in the third. Played to the Ottawa blue line. Leafs down a goal. Brought in by Matthew Joseph. Played back of the net. Cut off there by Morgan Riley rather adroitly. And he starts up with a pass out at center. Now to the line. Chipped in over the line by Pontus Holmberg. He's out there with Bertuzzi. And 2 minutes and 6 seconds to play. Played out at center ice to the line. Brought in by Tarasenko. Knocked down on the play was Liljegren. Puck comes free. Holmberg can't get it out. Liljegren against the board's far side. Chipped back by Gregg to the blue line. Near side for Bernard Docker with a shot. That was stopped. The Leafs get it ahead. Bertuzzi can do nothing more than just roll it out, but it's going to go down on goal. So icing is waved off. Now Nylander back of the goal. Playing it around the wall to the point. Kept in by Riley. Back of the net for Willie. Nylander centers it for Matthews! Stopped by Korpisalo.
What a nifty pass from Willie Nylander. Facing the glass in behind the Ottawa net. A little backhand blind pass out, but right out of the stick of Austin Matthews. And unfortunately for Matthews, might have been, I mean, he had to go take it on his backhand and bring it back to his forehand. As Martin Jones over on the Leaf bench, 1:28 to go, we're going to get a timeout here from Keefe.
Yeah, it looked like reading lips said that we're going to take the timeout here.
I don't know if we want to read all of the...
well, the rest of it, no.
The other stuff.
Well, actually, it was easier to read.
Yes. Yeah, timeout, you got to really pay attention.
Yes.
And 1:28 to go. And the Leafs in danger of losing 3 of 4 to the Ottawa Senators.
What a great pass by Nylander. You know, players just don't have a lot of confidence in their backhands these days. That was a great spot for a good backhand by Matthews, because he had Korpisalo not quite into position yet.
It was almost like he was just trying to drag it around him.
Yep.
And we have seen, I mean, Matthews, you know, when he can come in on a breakaway and go forehand, backhand, I mean, he can knife that up under the crossbar. Matthews opened the scoring for the Leafs, and they need another one from him now.
6 attackers for the Maple Leafs. Tavares scrums the draw. The puck goes wide of the goal. Grabbed off by the Sens, who send it high towards the empty net, and it goes wide. Icing call. Good thing Nylander didn't. He was trying to knock that out of the air with a high stick, and he missed it. And it's a good thing he did.
Pretty hard to judge when you're looking over your shoulder and you see the puck coming down as to what the trajectory is it headed for the empty net?
Tavares in the scrum again, and the draw won by the Leafs. Nylander, far side for Domi. Works down into the corner. There's a loose puck in front of the goal. They're banging away at it. Korpisalo finally gets a glove on it. Minute 4 to go.
By Max Domi being rewarded with a game that he's had by being out with the big boys. With the goaltender on the bench. Out to Morgan Rielly. Doesn't get to Rielly, but then the puck just rattles around before eventually Korpisalo is able to find it and escapes and hold on.
Draw to the right again. Tavares wins this one cleanly. Nylander saucers off for Rielly near half board. Spun back to Willie, but he had gone to the other side, and the puck comes all the way out into neutral ice. Under a minute. Nylander to the line and in. Nylander gets wide, get a shot away, and it was off a stick and went wide. Cleared out and down the ice by the Sens, and hustling back is Marner to provide an icing with 40.4 seconds left. What a nifty move.
What he does is tries to go around Tarasenko, goes around him, and then just sort of slides the puck 6 feet away from both of them so that he can skate into it.
Leafs control the draw again. Nylander for Rielly. Wrapped around back of the net. Shabbat just wants to get rid of it, but can't get it out. Kept alive by Matthews. Now to Domi, back of the goal. Centered in front. Oh, and it bounced over the stick of Morgan Rielly. Nylander able to keep it in for Marner. Marner to Tavares, and a shot went just wide. Matthews in the far corner. 15 seconds. Back to the point, Willie. Shot coming, blocked. And it's going to be pushed ahead with an empty net with 8 seconds left. Oh, nice shot. Ridley Gregg wound up and then slapped the puck into the net. And he just got leveled by, was that Morgan Rielly?
Yeah.
Who took exception to that?
and you know what? Gregg is down by the bench. Now they got the trainers out. I think he's milking it. But this is the 12-year-old kid you want to do the exact same thing to in a tournament. Rielly gets tossed. But Ridley Gregg with the big exaggerated slap shot. From the
and
top
now
of the
we got something else brewing on the ice. Tavares is in the middle of it. There's 5 seconds left.
And it'll be interesting to see what the penalty is on Morgan Rielly. And it will go through the league, I'm sure, to be reviewed. I think this was just a shot. It's like you're trying to hot dog and show us up. And there was no need for it. And I'm not sure what possesses Ridley Gregg to do it.
And Morgan Rielly just went over and cross-checked him around the shoulders. And Ridley Gregg went down like he'd been poleaxed. And then the scrum started after that.
And I know this is, people say, oh, you're a dinosaur, you're old school.
All right, it wasn't the shoulders. It was a little higher than that as we get the replay.
But this is kind of old school. You want to do this. You want to be a hero. You want to score and wind up and hammer it from the top of the crease. This is the way.
5-minute penalty, and it is now under review.
All right, so Morgan Rielly could be in some trouble, Joe.
Yeah, I would think that's a game. I think there'll be a, no, wait a minute. Let's not say that. Because all they're doing is handing out money fines these days.
Oh, Austin Matthews was not a repeat offender when he got 2 games.
No. So they're going to look at this. Now,
what he should have done was the Jacob Trouba and Trent Frederick.
Mm-hmm.
Just do the windmill high stick across the head. That's only, I think, a $5,000 fine. They're going to look at it. The league is going to look at anything in the last few minutes. But like I said, this was the old way of doing things. The wild, wild west. When you want to do something to embarrass or show up the other team, you're going to get a little shot. And I mean, it's just
Well, good for Morgan Riley. You know, now, in a different era and a different coach, and I'm hearkening back to possibly John Brophy here, seconds left.
Maybe out anyway. But they are going to review it.
And here's the announcement.
To me, it's a cross-check. It's not a major.
Review, the call is confirmed. We got 5 minutes major for cross-checking and a game misconduct for number 44, Toronto.
All right, now we'll have to go through the league for this to see if there's a suspension to Morgan Riley. Well, good. You know what? That just pushes the penalty minutes up a little further. So what have we got? 9 minutes for the Leafs, 0 for the Ottawa Senators.
Yep.
But Leafs had some opportunities. The bottom line is 3 pucks they turn over at center ice, end up back in their own net. And there you go, Mr. Bowen.
I don't think anything is going to start here, but
Morgan Riley's got a meeting. Might as well have Ryan Reeves join him. Von Benoit is out as well. No Brady Tkachuk. No.
Lots of chirping from Brady.
He wants out there.
And time will elapse. There'll be some pushing and shoving and some jawing.
Yeah, it was Kosteluk, I think, was the one that was chirping, but he had 4 of his teammates in between him and Reeves. And then the linesman. Come on, Brady.
But
there's time.
The bottom line is the Maple Leafs against Eastern opponents are really struggling. And against the Ottawa Senators in particular, who are not going to make the postseason and have been a major disappointment this year after everyone thought that they were going to be one of the more improved teams in the National Hockey League. That is their 21st win of the season and their 44th point.
Well, they've been much better under Jacques Martin. It took a while for them to get going, but now in their last, what do we got? It's going 0-5-0. They are 7-2-2. Senators were, and the Leafs, I mean, forget about the Eastern Conference. Teams not a playoff spot.
Yep.
Islanders earlier in the week, and now the Ottawa Senators end the week.
And you pretty much waste an excellent effort against the Dallas Stars, where you come on and beat one of the premier teams from the Western Conference.
Other than the Winnipeg Jets.
Yes, them too. Yes. Well, it is rather strange. At any rate, our next action is Tuesday night. The St. Louis Blues, who have rallied under their new coach to get into the postseason picture, will be in town. First time we get to see the boys from Missouri, and that'll be a 7 o'clock start. We hope that you will join us at that time. The Leafs drop a 5-3 decision to the Ottawa Senators. You've been listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050.
Some channels dedicated to laid-back, lo-fi sounds. Ease through the day with Lo-Fi Cafe. Find calm and increase concentration with Lo-Fi Study. Or relax and rest with Lo-Fi Sleep. All available now on the all-new SiriusXM app. Just search Lo-Fi.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on SiriusXM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores!
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter!
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on SiriusXM FC 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
Under review. The National Hockey League, it's the #1 league in the world. It's a tough league. It's not shinny. I never wanted to become a league where the stars get an extra step or two. And there is a real divide with some people who go, the NHL doesn't do enough for its stars. No, what we like about hockey is it's a team game.
Under review with Mick Kerr. 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91 and the SiriusXM app.
Hi, this
this is Ray Hudson, and for all the biggest matches from club soccer's holy grail, the UEFA Champions League, tune in to Sirius XM FC 157.
Molson Canadian Leafs hockey 5-3. Ottawa wins over the Leafs. The Leafs get goal early enough. We'll come back with a post-game show. Jim Ralph, Dave Feschuk, and me, and Molson Canadian Leafs hockey on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network.
After Super Bowl 58 is over, stay tuned to Sirius XM NFL Radio for live post-game analysis from Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. Catch exclusive interviews with the Super Bowl MVP, winning head coach, and more. It's the Super Bowl 58 postgame show, hosted by Bill Leckus, Jim Miller, Kurt Morrison, and Brad Hopkins. Immediately after the game on Sirius XM NFL Radio Channel 88 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
From in the crease to in the locker room.
Sometimes a goalie's style fits certain teams better, and I think the way Aiden Hill plays fits the Vegas Golden Knights, the way Bruce Cassidy wants to coach defensively perfectly. He's a monster of a guy. He works really hard. He doesn't give up bad goals. He is a grinder. He's a worker, and it just seems to fit.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. From in the crease to in the locker room.
Mr. Rick Tocchet, if you're taking a mix of coaches you had the best of, what is that mix for Rick Tocchet?
Scotty Bowman behind the bench, tactician. Mike Keenan, a lot of stuff that coaches do now, he did. Jim Schoenfeld, the father figure. Mike Sullivan. I still talk to guys like Craig Berube, Travis Green. So, there's a mixture, and then you got to find your own niche, right?
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app.
Hey Toronto, I'm David Moore City, host of the daily Toronto Maple Leafs podcast, Locked On Leafs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network on the Sirius XM app. Every weekday we bring you the latest Leafs news and analysis, break down all the action, including this game you're listening to right now, and preview the next one. We're giving you everything a Leafs fan can want, all in the daily 30-minute podcast. Download Locked On Leafs right now on the Sirius XM app, available with all trials and popular plans, or where you get your podcast.
This music means one thing. The Champions League is on Sirius XM SC. The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for
all tournament long on Sirius XM SC 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Bristol line and walks in. Put it between his legs.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate, weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Hockey lives here.
NHL Great Night Live on Sirius XM.
The best hockey lives here.
Marks gets it back, stick fingers to the backhand, moves in front, scores!
Tavares scored. He's been sort of coming out of the doldrums
this
of
is
that
Ray Hudson,
career-long
and for all the biggest matches from club soccer's holy grail, the UEFA Champions League, tune in to Sirius XM FC 157.
The statistical regression suggests he should be
Leafs
involved more.
Game night.
He needs to get on the score sheet more, had an assist at least,
and the Leafs
in the win
Radio
over
Network.
Dallas.
The Leafs live here.
Got to get him on the score sheet in terms of a goal.
Ottawa wins at 5-3 over the Leafs. Welcome to the post-game show. Leafs game night at TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. Jim Taddy, Jimmy Ralph, and Dave Feschuk from the Toronto Star. So, Ralph, we were happy that you could hang around. 5-3 is the final. We got plenty to say about the game, but I want to go to the Riley hit. I firmly believe that's a two-game suspension.
Okay,
let me counter that and get your response. I'm looking for something from that third line. I thought Domi skated really well and had opportunity against Dallas.
Let's put it this way. When you see in their careers,
a guy who can play up at times, and Robertson is on the spot. Something has to happen from that line, in my opinion, because it's not going to happen for the fourth line.
That's about right. First time offender, obviously, for Riley. But this will be the message in a way that you can't do that. It's in the last 2 minutes of a game. And it was deliberate, so it's going to cost
he's got 7 goals on the year, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But you're right.
Yeah, he's got to be a guy that you can count on. He's got to prove
for the Leafs to be down another reliable guys.
presence out there.
We just saw tonight
alongside Domi. Both him and
this
Domi.
Look, it's a two-way thing, right?
Nobody does their offense
without Marchand, without Connor
things
Timmins.
happen on the offensive side of the puck. But
they're
the ice and get the kind of
playing
time
guys a little
that you
bit
need
out of
to
place.
perform.
in the lineup.
They've got to prove Sheldon Keefe that they can be responsible on both ends on the ice. It's going to be big if they get something out of that line. I agree with you. A lot of turnovers from a lot of the defense core. William Lagesson did not look particularly sharp.
They had the All-Star break, and then
a big reason why Ottawa made it 2-1 in the second period.
The Leafs play well in Ottawa.
I understand the frustration from Morgan Riley, and I know there are a lot of Leaf fans that want to see
I'm going to go with the optimistic frustration come out in the form of aggression against the other team when the Leafs don't play up to their expectation. But will feel like a home game.
To your point,
as we pointed out, maybe isn't a good thing.
2-game suspension is not going to be.
But it's different, Jim, because these are the different Leaf fans.
These are the Leaf fans. I don't mind this.
Can't necessarily afford to get into the lower bowl
I realize
of the arena down on Bay Street because we
now.
know the
It's in your
prices down
face.
there
It's try to show up the other person. Everything's about the Sally.
Very difficult for the
Everything's
average guy
about the
to
moment.
get.
But I like the fact that as soon as he did it, you can see Greg look over his shoulder
at the
to
Scotiabank
see if
Arena.
the Leafs are going to do
The
anything.
Leaf fans, the traveling Leaf fan,
he found out very quickly the answer
maybe
was
a little
yes.
bit of tailgating in the parking lot.
I don't mind that. I mean, I don't mind
day here in Ontario.
guys try to show you
I like
up
the
or
chances here. This could feel a
almost
little
try to
different
mock
for the
you at
Leafs.
the end of the game.
As much
I don't
as they've
mind
had
seeing
a problem
a little bit of
beating the bad
emotion.
teams
In
in the
fact,
league, we talked
you'd
about
like
how
to
they're
see it from a lot more guys.
5-3
Yeah,
against
I
the
agree with
bottom
that.
six
I
in the
think we
league,
saw
including
some
1-2-0
emotion
against Ottawa
in the
this
third
season.
period. Certainly
I
during
like
the
their
TV
chances
timeout,
of
Sheldon
catching
Keefe
a
was
very
pretty
rusty
revved up with
Senators
his
team
players.
sleeping out of the gates
I thought the
and
Leafs played
pouncing on
a much better third period. That second period was just dreadful. That was a Christmas morning thing with all the gifts. I mean, they just
but the thing is, Tim, at the end of the second period, looking at the graphics, the Leafs had almost a minute more offensive zone time possession than Ottawa did after two periods. And even though the giveaways were glaring, they all ended up in their own net. And by the second Ottawa goal in the second period, it came with about 8 or 9 minutes left, I think, and they had 2 goals on 3 shots. So I mean, as glaring as the giveaways were,
he and Jones both skated yesterday.
You start going through Martin Jones' stats where he's given up, I think, 10 goals on his last 40 shots going back to the game in Vancouver. So not to hang it on him, but you get a save to erase one of those rushes,
really good job
then
for us.
you might have a different game as well.
Period of time.
Well, that's a fair point, Ralphie. And Tatman and I were talking before the game about how we didn't necessarily love the way that Sheldon Keefe and the goaltending staff had approached the deployment of goaltenders. Obviously, giving Samsonov 5 straight starts, not having Martin Jones in the lineup since January 20th until tonight. Do you think that contributed maybe to Martin Jones' performance? How did you feel about the fact that Martin Jones had been sort of put on ice after he'd done so much heavy lifting in the lead up to Samsonov's return?
Well, I mean, like I said, I think you go to that last goal. Actually, his 2 starts in the row. The one in Edmonton, you remember the Draisaitl goal that just kind of cued the comeback, kind of a weak backhand from the goal line. And then, the 6 goals on 21 shots against the Vancouver Canucks. Remember, it started the next night when Samsonov played in Seattle. We went on that run and then beat Winnipeg twice. Obviously, the All-Star break was the break to me that hurt Martin Jones the most. Then I think obviously coming out of the break, Samsonov had won 3 straight. He only given up 3 goals in that stretch. Playing them back-to-back, I think, was somewhat expected. But it was more the break in the schedule. I thought the All-Star break that instead of Jones waiting, maybe 10 days for a start, those extra days.
It's just to defend hard, be in your face.
So, search for secondary scoring. Domi and Robertson both had pretty good games tonight. What else did you see, and would you agree with that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Even the fourth line at times, they're not overly dangerous in the offensive zone, but you like them. Once you get the puck in deep, and you like them banging guys around for 25-30 seconds before the big boys come out.
That well, so
I would say
a lot of it is just
only Roberts and
Keefe getting set for the Ottawa Senators. So you're in pro camp. Gio and Timmins all out with various ailments.
And a key goal.
Let's go to that blue line
to make it 4-3.
Consider what Benoit brings, what McCabe brings, and
of course he also had
tonight has that grit as well. I mean, what do they need to add to that blue line?
Turned back that could have made it 2-0 out of the game. Probably made this team a much different hockey game. Had Noah Gregor not been offside. If you could recreate the Luke Shen deal that allowed the Senators of a year ago, we get it back to 1-0 and was tie it 1-1 toward the end of the first period. Get over that first round complexion of that period. So really good performance. I think if you're looking for positives out of this game, a top pair guy, you got to point to that time out there because alongside Morgan Riley at times, putting a call in anybody but the core four. Please step up. Obviously, he's not available tonight. We've been talking about Chris Tanev. Tanev, I think, would fit the bill beautifully
for Max Domi, but I know even going to the Dallas game.
If you want to do what you did last year
Dallas
and then more,
which
is not flame out the second round in a 5-game
I think almost a minute more in ice time per game than Max Domi was.
To draw
I guess the question
is, was
it a case where Sheldon Keefe felt, right off the bat they had it going, so they got more ice time?
Yeah, so just a couple seconds, but
was Max Domi better because he got more ice time? That might be the actual question.
It could make up somewhat
so much has to do with that. When you want secondary scoring, and you're saying, okay,
I mean, look,
Max Domi, Nick Robertson, they're getting 10, 11 minutes of ice time a night.
Offense.
So what do you want from them?
We're talking about secondary
scoring. I know from a player's standpoint, you're thinking, don't screw up. Don't give up anything against.
You go down the list.
Your mindset's not even in the contributing offensively mode when you don't have that kind of rhythm. So, I thought Max Domi might have been one of his best games of the season, to be honest.
Played 16:53,
that's a good thing.
Robertson played 14:09, but Domi was out when the goalie was pulled as one of the extra skaters.
On the blue line,
I think you said this earlier, Ralphie, and I know Dave alluded to this. If we do an edit on this game and throw a Leaf goal in the second period or late in the first, it has a different tone, doesn't it?
Yeah,
or even a power play. If he was on a third pair,
that might have changed around. And that's one of the things
that Jim Ralph is next. This is Molson Canadian Ice Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
But at least they're being consistent. Just don't call that and hold into that tripping play at the blue line that has nothing to do with the play. And sure enough, the Leafs end up getting nailed on both. I think the one from a Leaf standpoint that was tough to take was the high stick on Jake McCabe right in behind the Leaf net.
Oh, yeah.
The official was right there and then pointed at him. And then you're thinking, well, I thought, and you go, wow. This is, that's when you say, okay, they're not gonna call anything. But sure enough, those vicious trips came into play.
Yeah, and the Benoit trip in the third period was definitely bogus, and you could, I guess you could have called everything bogus on a night where the officials just had the whistles in the pocket for the most part. And it's only the second game of the year, guys, where the Leafs haven't got a power play opportunity. I think they had one in December against the Rangers, so kind of an odd night from that standpoint. But I guess if you're Sheldon Keefe, Jim, you talked about the sort of emotion that Sheldon Keefe was showing there in the third period there, talking to his players in that timeout. And you understand it, because this is a frustrating situation here, because you're now 5-6-3 against the bottom 6 teams in the National Hockey League, including the Senators, and you've won one game in your 4-game season series against the Senators. So 1-3. Not good enough and not acceptable. And it's really, in a lot of ways, it's been the story of more than one Maple Leaf seasons where they leave the points on the table against teams they should be, really taking care of. And it turns out to really hurt them in the standings. And I think Sheldon Keefe knows that very well. He's talked about it on multiple occasions over the past few years. And to see it playing out before your eyes against the Senators team that was the worst defensive team in the league under Jacques Martin coming into this game, it's not a great feeling for a coach to know that, this was an opportunity squandered ultimately.
No, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and say this. And you can't coach towards this goal, obviously. I think the best thing for the Leafs for this year, going and do very little as far as trades or anything else, talking about wild card.
Yeah.
Have to win down the stretch to get in, just like the Florida Panthers did last year. And then have the first round of the playoffs, have everyone say they don't stand a chance. There's no expectation. And, sometimes, and if I go back to 2001, the Leafs didn't clinch a playoff spot until the second last game of the regular season. They won 1-0 in Chicago. Steve Thomas had a goal in the second period. Curtis Joseph was the first star. Then they came back to play in Ottawa, the final game of the season, a nothing game. Senators didn't dress a lot of their big guys. They were, I think, almost 30 points ahead of the Leafs in the standings by the end of the year. Ottawa, I think, was 2 or 3 guys short that they didn't dress for the final game, still beat the Leafs 5-3. And everybody said, oh, no, this is it. They can't even beat half a squad. It's going to be a 4-game sweep. And it was, but it was the Leafs that ended up. But I always remember that as, they were such complete underdogs going into that series that, it always seems to be, and that's, includes having struggles against teams that are out of a playoff spot. When they're the favorite or when, people put that pressure on them that they should win, they have trouble with it. And as we saw in the back-to-back games against Winnipeg, when you start thinking they're done, they turn around and surprise you. So I'm not saying that, you coach to hope, like Chicago beating Pittsburgh down, for Florida to get it at the end of last year. I'm not saying you coach to have it that close, but I'm just saying if it works out that way, that they're in a position where the last 6 weeks of the regular season, they got to start winning games against good teams, may not be the worst thing.
Well, I mean, there's just so much talent here. There's really, even if it goes down to a situation where they have to sort of win in the final week, they have the ability to do that. They have that talent. It just doesn't seem to. I mean, you're looking for that game that tells you it's going to be all right, and you don't find it, right?
Well, but the other side is, and this is, I hate going against the Union, and Martin Jones was fine tonight. He made a couple of big stops. But that's 10 goals against in his last 2 games. There were games in the last couple that, from Samsonov, that you're saying you'd kind of like a save here, or at certain points, and it might be unfair in a lot of ways to say you got to wait for Joseph Wall to get back. High ankle sprain for a goaltender is not going to be easy before he finds that comfort level again. And he wasn't supposed to be the guy that was going to be your savior coming out of training camp. He was supposed to be part of a probably a 60-40 split with Samsonov. But that's one of the things that are huge. I mean, when you saw those back-to-back wins against Winnipeg, Ilya Samsonov was a huge part of that. And it wasn't just don't give up the bad one. That was make some spectacular saves at the right moments. So that's something else that's got to get sorted out, the consistency in goal. Because, if you I realize there were turnovers, and there's always mistakes that are going to be made before goals are scored, but if you feel like you start a game and we got to score 4 or 5, then that's when you start cheating on the stretch passes and guys leaving the zone early and trying to force it through the middle because you're in that mentality that we need a lot because we're probably going to give up a lot.
Well, look, Ralphie, I'm kind of shocked that you're going against the Union, as you pointed out.
I know. I don't like doing it.
So, I'm going to have to be the guy that steps in here and defends Martin Jones right now. Because, I look at this game and I say, okay, you're up 1-0. The 1-1 goal where Ottawa ties it.
Well, he made a good save on before that. Yeah,
a great save on Matthew Joseph, and then Giroux just gets a puck that's just sitting in front of the net and is able to tuck it upstairs. The 2-1 goal, Lagesson gets caught on a dumb turnover. Tarasenko's coming back the other way, essentially in alone. I'm not going to fault the guy.
Oh no! I'm not saying. But David, if you're giving up 4 to 6 goals a night, how long are you going to say it's not the goalie's fault?
Well, no, fair enough. But there's a lot of grade A. What I'm saying is there were a lot of grade A chances here given up on account of the Maple Leafs' carelessness with the puck.
Yeah, but I guess the one Benoit gave up. By the way, they did add an assist to Batherson. When Benoit tried to throw it up the boards, Batherson just got his